the buried workers. We
and those are the people who renovated the pyramid.
we found the supervisors over these people.
When they dug it out the flood.
We know the labor
Only
force that was
when they dug it out the special well
being built, bro. You're a liar. We know the labor
only found the grave storehouses being built, bro.
Food.
Oh yes,
You're
finally.
a liar, man.
That shit is over.
You're show us.
These niggas always come.
What'd you say, Tad?
I said finally that shit is over with.
Man, y'all could have been called me, man, to get that shit stopped.
You know what? I wasn't even thinking. I could have called you. I was sitting here listening for real and saying, you know, like, when is nigga gonna turn this shit off? But I didn't even think about calling you. I ain't even think about that shit. I'm sitting here listening for real, talking shit.
Yeah, I ain't know shit, man.
Because I was there for the earlier part, but I didn't hear the end part where they were just going at it just then. I didn't hear none of that. So, you know what I'm saying? I got caught up listening for real.
That's all right.
I ain't on shit. I'm back at home now.
Oh, that's what's up.
Finally got back to the crib and shit. Drove all day yesterday and all day today. Like, fuck it, nigga. I got to get it.
Yeah. Where is? Hold on, let me put that link out there.
Congratulations, safe return.
Oh yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. Now it's time to get to work. Time to get to work. Like it ain't like I get to really take no days off of vacations anyway. As a YouTuber, you got to keep your fucking platform going. So you almost got to upload at least a video, you know what I mean, every day. So, you know what I mean, you can't really take a full break away from this shit or your channel gonna get hurt by not doing content. So yeah, you can't never really get away as a YouTuber. So yeah, man, what's on deck for the night, man? Somebody click that link, man. Let's get on up here, man. It's the argument league. Let's argue. The Bible is all lies. Let's go, nigga. Nothing to fucking play with out here, nigga. Look, just start anything. Like, bro, listen, man, the Bible is all lies, nigga. We ain't from Africa, nigga. What do you want, bro? What y'all niggas want to do, bro? What y'all want to do? How y'all want it, nigga? Because, you know, you got to say some crazy shit to get niggas to jump out there. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't going to just jump out there if you know, say something simple that people agree with. You know, like Jesus is a great man and he was a great person.
Yeah.
Might argue that shit too, though. Somebody might come on here and be like,
Somebody might, though. Yeah.
Like, man, they lied about Jesus, nigga. Jesus was really Satan, nigga. Like,
Oh, you missed it. Yeah. That was season 1 and 2 right there.
look, I done summoned the mother man himself, man.
Yeah, your whole life is a lie, nigga.
look, hey, bro, anybody else, man? God damn, bro. I got to start putting a disclaimer on this shit. Anybody else, bro? I ain't fucking with you, bro. I told you. If I talk to you, it'll be at this tone all night, bro. Promise. I'm not gonna raise my voice. You're not gonna get in my head. We're not gonna argue. I'll just simply agree to disagree with you, Yahweh.
And that's the power of Yahweh. You will make your enemies your footstool.
What's good, though, man? What's cracking?
Ain't nothing much, man. I'm just up late, man. Get my shorty together. Send this nigga off to camp in the morning.
Oh, yeah, we got a football camp. What, school? Regular school? What do you got?
Yeah, he got basketball camp.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You going to some regular kids go to, or you got him going to some expensive shit that niggas can't afford?
He got some regular kids going to, because, you know, I'm in the shop.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that nigga at the Jordan camp, nigga, for the 1,500, nigga.
This nigga gotta get this, get these free throws now. Then I think about it.
He still got one. I know he used to.
Yeah, he got one. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got
still
one. He keep it rough.
Mhm.
Nah, I'm sure he 8, so he's just really getting it going. He decent though. He's decent for 8, so he's just trying to get it going.
Yeah. Yeah, he going to them camps, nigga. He'll be ready, nigga. He at school, middle school and shit.
Yep.
And be getting niggas right, bro. Cause like the raw talent, like the niggas like me, that's all I would have needed, bro, was somebody to mold me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like get me get me really game ready. You know what I'm saying? I got the raw talent, height, you know what I'm saying? I could dribble, I could dunk, I could do everything, but I learned the game late. You know what I'm saying? Learned the game too late. I'm talking about the actual game. I learned it too late.
Yeah. Cause he up there. Then when I sent him, then he gonna in August. Then he go down to Flint. He going down there for a camp with Mo Peterson, I think, or the team Cleves. One of them.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the boy out of Michigan State.
Yep. Yeah. That's my son, Godfather.
Oh, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he got it around him. He ain't got no choice. Niggas looking at him.
Yeah.
Right there around him. I got you. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we can do as parents is do our part, man. We was talking about that shit the other day, man. Our nigga kids fuck around, quit on your ass. Like, man, I don't want to do that, dog. I want to play in the band, nigga. You know?
Yep.
Like, I want to run track, nigga. Like, fuck that. Cause I had my son playing baseball. He was so motherfucking good in the little leagues and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he never played one game of baseball in high school or middle school, bro. And he had the hand as a kid, but never wanted to do it.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta, so he told me not too long ago. He told me a while back. His mama said he asked his mama to buy him something. And she told him, "You need to get a job." He said, "I ain't getting no job." She said, "What?" He said, "I ain't getting no job." She said, "What you mean?" He said, "I'm gonna be a YouTuber." She said, "Oh, hell no. No. You gotta do something." So then he was like, "No, they make money. They make money." She said, "How you know they make money?" He said, "You see all the toys they own?" I said, "You see all the toys they got? They have a new toy every show." So he figured he gonna be a YouTuber, so he can get paid. So he can buy all the toys he want to buy. That's what he thinks. All the video games. I stopped saying toys, but video games.
He is putting numbers up on the board though, bro. I ain't even gonna lie though.
How old is he talking like that?
8.
Yeah, he put the numbers up on the board though, bro. Some shit like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to them, they views come from other kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like them kids that sit there and watch another kid play a video game, open up a toy, any of that shit, bro. They do, dog. Like if you got a personality or whatever, shit, I let him try it, nigga. Why not? You know, duck mom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell her, nigga, but this how you do it. Like, shit.
Yeah.
But you want to know what, like my I guess you could say my ex stepson, but I still just say my stepson. You know what I'm saying? He was always into video games, like most young boys are, but he was like really, really into video games, and where his father felt like that was just a distraction and, gear his attention into this and put him in the sports. His mom was, well, that's not what he into. Like this was a little boy that like standing in the grass. He would be itching and scratching, thinking about what bugs was on him. You know, he wanted to be in the house playing video games. Well, when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, he was all in, you know, Orlando, Florida at the tournaments, like straight gaming, trying to win competitions. He ended up getting his bachelor's degree in video design or video, I don't even know, video game design or video graphy or whatever it is called. But he basically he got a degree into developing the the layout for different video games, like the graphics.
Yeah.
You know, that he was really, and that was a love and a passion that he developed at like that early age, like 8, 9, 10 years old. He carried it into being a young man and got a degree in it because it wasn't something like a fad for him. So like sometimes when I like telling us things that they want to do,
right,
they're not bullshitting. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what they want to do with their future. And you know, he's a young man now, and that's like his first entry level job. You know, kind of helping some other startup organization like fund and build their game system. But he's doing what he wants to do. You know what I mean? What he always desired to do, which is great. But you know, his dad would have probably wanted him to get a trade or get a skill or, you know, like one of those, like, yeah, son. But that's not what his dad wanted him to do. Like, I guess neither of his sons are doing that because my son is like, you know, y'all work too damn hard for your money. You know, my son is in the stock market in the exchange, and he's trying to learn. You know, he up there with Blue, but he's a lot younger than him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to. He's not trying to do like me or his dad or his brother. Like he's not trying to do none of that stuff. You know, so like what these young people want to do is so different.
Yeah.
It's so different in the route that we chose to get success. And all you could do really is like, I prefer that than him trying to get success in being in a gang or like trying to sell drugs or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, try your hand in it. See what happens, you know? I was like, am I supposed to be in Dogecoin still, son? Like, I be trying to go to him like, yo, give me some heads up. Like, what the hell? I got my money in this shit. What's up?
Yeah, they know. It's funny, this new generation, you know, like they come fresh out the womb tech savvy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a 1-year-old grandson, and he like, you know what I'm saying? He watching, and I'm like, you know how to use the mouse and on the computer and be tight, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like familiar with it. Like, the technology is there, so it's like that's a part of his life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's all they know. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Man, y'all, just my son ain't even 1 year old. He gotta cut on my camera on the goddamn phone. I gotta keep my phone away from him.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotta wave at y'all and all. I'm like, oh hell no, we ain't even gonna start this.
Well, my little cousin, she used to call me. My little cousin used to call me all the time on I think it's like WhatsApp. She used to call me all the time on WhatsApp, but it's because like her mom would give her the phone to watch YouTube videos, and I guess when she got bored of the YouTube videos, she would just go through her calls and just hit call, like, and she recognized our name because sometimes she was talking to her uncle, and if I call, she'd be like, no cousin, like she would just ignore my call. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, what the fuck? Like this little girl over here. She's like, oh yeah, she ignored your call. I'm like, what do you mean she ignored my call? She's too young to do that. She said, no, she memorized what your name looked like. And she's like, that's you. No, I'm not talking to you. yo, these kids is crazy.
It's
She
crazy.
was one or two, maybe two.
Yep. Yeah. It's just like that. Like my son, like not too long ago, he like asked me, can he download? Like he's like, Dad, can I see your phone? That'd be the first thing out of his mouth. Dad, can I see your phone? So I'm like, here, you can see it. So I know, he love the little Roblox thing, whatever he be playing. So he was like, yeah, can I need to buy this, I need to buy this weapon. I need to buy this weapon. I said, how much is it? He said, it's $2. I said, okay, I'll buy the $2. Let me see the phone. So I put the $2 in. Now I'm thinking, like, I ain't thinking really. I'm like, here, let me show you. I'll just buy the $2. So he's sitting right next to me, right? So I'm like, I go to like my Google account on the phone and everything, typing my username and password. And then I purchased the little two. Then I purchased it. I said, well, here go 20. I'm gonna buy you $20 worth of stuff you can get. So he was like, okay, cool. So I said, don't spend it all in one place. Spend it all at one time. You better save it, while you playing these games or whatever. So 2-3 days go by, you know what I'm saying? You playing with my phone. But then after about 3 days, I get an alert on my phone from my bank. So I'm looking. I'm like, where did $600 come from?
Oh, damn.
And so I'm like, and so I tap his mom. I say, hey man, I said, did you buy something? I said, did you buy something with my card? She said, no, I ain't use your card. I said, somebody just hit me for $600. She's like, what? She's like, what? I said, somebody just hit me for $600. I don't know what this is. So I'm looking. And then I look. It said, Roblox, $125 purchase. Roblox, $150 purchase. Roblox, $75 purchase. Roblox, $20, $20.
You was on your head, bro.
I said, man, I shook his mom. She was sleeping. It was like 4 a.m. I said, hey, this dude just got, I said, just this your son just got me for $600 off this Roblox. He said, what? I said, yeah. I said, he done charged $600 worth of games. She was like, go wake him up. I said, hey, I'm just telling you what's going on. She's like, get his ass up now. I said, it's 4 a.m. Get him up now. I said, no, let me see what's going on. Maybe he didn't do it. Let me talk to her first. Maybe they. She was like, nah. I was like, but he don't know my password. He don't know none of that. That's what I'm thinking in my head. He don't know none of that. So morning come, he get up. I asked him, I said, hey man, did you buy some more stuff on my phone? What is this stuff? He said, yeah, I ran out of coins. I said, what you mean you ran out of coins? I said, how did you buy? I said, so you bought all? He said, yeah, I needed some more weapons. I said, Beck, what are you doing, bro? So he was like, I said, well, how did you do it? He said, I just typed in what I need to put in and I bought. I said, you typed in what? I said, my username and my password. I said, you don't know that. He said, uh-huh. I said, how do you know that? He said, I watched you put it in.
Ooh, damn.
Hell no.
Yeah, he said, I watched you put it in. And he's like, when he ran out, he's like, but he not thinking real money. You know what I'm saying? He thinking, money. Oh, it's $1.99. He not thinking real money. Man, this $150, So I'm calling Roblox, I'm calling Google. I'm like, hey, whoa. They was like, you gotta eat that.
Yeah.
I'm calling Roblox.
Man, I'm
I'm
calling
calling
the
Roblox.
program. I'm calling Google. They was like, the only thing you can do is call your bank. Maybe they reverse the charges, but you got to eat that.
That's a slim chance, though.
That one, dog. That's fucked up. That's
But
father
the
shit.
thing of it is, though, my wife was always like, I don't give him my phone. I'm like, he ain't about the phone. I'm like, what harm can he do? She was like, I don't care what you say. I don't give him my phone.
Yeah.
She been telling me this for a year. I'm like,
ain't going.
$600 later, goddamn it.
I ate that, bro.
My phone. Fuck that.
I ate it. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. That, hey, bro. Hey, bro. I was like, man, she was looking at me. She was like, told you. So I don't give him my phone. I was like,
Hey, but you know what though, Yara? It's the same thing with the video game console. It's the same shit.
see?
You gotta watch the video games they got, cause in some of them games, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you'll fuck around. Cause my nephew did that shit to me, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, I want to come down there and hurt that boy. You know what I'm saying? Cause I went down there. I stayed with my sister for a little bit for a funeral. He like playing the video game. I like playing the video game. So he was like, well, shit. He wanted a few little extra things. I'm like, fuck it, I don't mind buying it.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to take my credit card information off of there, but in my sister's house, so I ain't thinking nothing of it.
Mm-hmm.
This game is called Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh,
In this
Lord.
shit, you can buy all kinds. I noticed I have my own profile. I don't buy shit. I purposely don't buy shit because I'm a gamer. I like to not buy it. I like to challenge myself by not buying a little product.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga done went and spent first he spent about $300. I didn't notice the $300 because I had just got done paying my storage. So I'm just associating the big money loss from me paying my storage. I'm like, damn, I must have went and got gas. I must have went and got this and that. So I'm not even thinking about it. By the next round, because now he done went in. Now he done got him a little quick little $400 spin in. He done got all the guns and all the masks and all the characters. I find this out at fucking Walmart when I'm trying to buy me and my son something to eat. And I swipe my card, they say decline. I'm like, decline? How the fuck am I decline? I budget my money all the time. What the fuck? I'm in there ready to cuss their ass out. You feel me? I call my shit, man. They're like, oh yeah, you've been making purchases on your PS4. I'm like, what? I don't ever make purchases on there, man. I call my sister immediately. And you know, the strange thing about it, he didn't want to tell me he did it at first. That's why I'm like, at least your son told you, bro. At least he had the heart to say, yeah, I bought that shit. You know what I'm saying? This little motherfucker, bro, he let me run it. He let me think somebody was in their house spending my money, bro. I was like, oh, I'm coming down now. I don't give a damn what y'all got going on. Somebody got to tell me something.
Yeah, tell me something, man. I was just, man. I see. For me, bro, when I laugh, and the reason why I laugh is because my wife would always be like, I don't give him my phone. And she was like, you better keep, she was like, he don't need to be on your phone like that. I was like, I ain't got nothing in there. I ain't got nothing there. Hey, play on the phone. Ain't nothing there. She was like, that's why I'm telling you, don't give him the phone. So I couldn't say nothing.
They smart, bro. They smart.
So she,
that's what I'm talking about. That feminine energy, because son was at those ages. His father wasn't in the home, so when I got him the PlayStation, I was like, I'm gonna get you one of them check cards, one of them secured credit card things. Because I was like, why I'm not putting my credit card that would I pay my bills? Immediately, it just did not make sense to me in my mind. If I'm paying my bills, I'm doing my day-to-day thing. I'm not putting that information in Sony. And then it could have been maybe like 2 years later, whatever. He said, "Oh, Sony got hacked, and a hacker got all of the credit card information." I said, "It's a good thing I did it." So I went and got him one of them little secured credit card things, and I put probably about $25, $30 on that thing. And of course, he ran through it so quickly that it was like, my mom's so cheap. I ain't gonna ask her no more. He never asked me. He asked me. He just dealt with, well, I guess whatever comes for free. But he never really asked me again. But he did tell me that it got compromised. That further, like, it reinforced me not even wanting to do that. I was like, oh, hell no. They should not even secure. I'm not with it. But
not only do you have to worry about the hackers, you also got to worry about the kids. They don't even understand that, like, that could be rent money, god damn it. That is important money that you up there spending on this bullshit. That's a digital goddamn game. You need real food in the refrigerator.
But that's what I'm saying. They learn so many other lessons. They learn so many other lessons, Brother Brandon. Like, ain't nobody got money to be spending on Call of Duty or
at all.
The other one, the one that's like real, like gangster life. What is it called?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, I would never.
Listen. Right now, I got an issue where the boy think the faucet is off, and the faucet is running all night long because he can't hear the water running. That's water. I pay for water. I don't live here for water, bro. Like, motherfucker, the water is running, right? That's money just running down the sink. Nah, I ain't got money for Grand Theft Auto or none of that other fighting, no Ryuken, no, none of that nonsense. I ain't got no money for none of that because we still working on the basics of how you turn off the water or you open up the window because you hot even though the air conditioning is on and shit like that.
Now it's gonna stay on, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know how people be, I'm hot. What you mean you hot?
This conversation we having, it's like, it's a bittersweet because I remember those days when I was younger and I'd be like, man, what's up? Why are you so angry that I left the door open? But now it's like, hold up, all of this shit costs. Like, I can't breathe without this shit costing. You close that damn window. And it makes so much more sense now as adults. Like, we have to absorb all of these costs. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a parent. Even if the kid is dead to the right in their mind and it winds up costing us, we sometimes just gotta eat that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just have to eat it. Fuck it. Now that's $300 gone, $100 gone, $200 gone. They don't understand that you know what I'm saying, hurts us. You know what I'm saying? Like, This actually affects us. Like, shit, you want something for next year? This is gonna affect next year.
Listen, it wasn't too. So earlier today, he started to I guess whatever grill he decided to grill for 4th of July, right? I was like, it ain't the 4th of July no more.
You going to bed?
Why my grill is dirty? You know what I'm saying? Man. I had an issue with my grill being dirty, so I said something. So young man said he's gonna clean the grill. Okay. So he took the spray that you clean like the oven, right? But I came downstairs and the screen door open, but the air conditioner on. So I'm like, what's going on? Why am I, on my good air conditioner just leaving out the house, right? Like, there's money going out the window.
Yeah.
So, of course, with the lack of communication, not able to say, the door is open because of this. He's like, oh, you got a problem? Fine. So then he started close the door. Boom. Then he started spraying the thing and we all coughing up. You know what I'm saying? We start coughing.
Right.
And he's like, this is why I had it open. And I'm like, Oh
Too
my
late
God.
now. We poison.
You know how people say, like, when you raised by a woman, you communicate like a woman?
Yeah.
Like, you would use a lot more words if you was raised by a woman, right? You would be more communicative. You would speak more instead of trying to show me the reason why you had the window open. I had to figure it out. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, nah, that you don't even
Raised
want
by
to figure
me,
that out after
bro.
all that.
Why you ain't just say, hey, the door's open because of this? But no, you was like, oh, work? You want to pop up at the mouth? Boom, I'm gonna close the door. That's what you did. I was like, oh, I hate this whatever this is, this non-communication stuff you got going on here, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe when you get a little older, that's part of maturity, manhood, blah, blah, blah. But right now it gets on my last nerves because I don't know. I don't see the fruits of this femininity stuff at all. I don't see it. I just be like, you don't communicate well at all, and I got to deal with this. That's all I keep thinking. But yeah,
I can do it.
that's just Melanated Chronicles right there. Just 4th of July.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. These kids nowadays, they into it. Like you said earlier, they into what they into. I had one time I went took my nieces and nephews. I was taking them out to go camping in this little area in Florida Everglades. Now I knew they didn't want to go because you know what I'm saying. I got the vibes. I ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying. Like just because I'm older don't mean I ain't. I felt the vibes. They didn't want to go, but they mama made me do it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll bring them out. We went out there. They didn't do a damn thing. I had to pitch the tent. I had to make the little fire pit. When I say they didn't do shit, I mean they literally just sat there and watched me do everything. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you know what? We're gonna talk a little bit, we're gonna build a little fire, when we go to sleep, we're gonna get in our little sleeping bags, everybody gonna be cool. I went to sleep. We all went to sleep. Well, I thought we all went to sleep. I'll be damned. I woke up. I don't know what the fuck woke me up. And I don't even know. Probably mosquitoes biting me or whatever. Cause we outside. I get up and ain't nobody in the goddamn thing with me. So I panic. I'm like, oh shit. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I should call my mom or
That's
my
the
sister first.
ancestors. It ain't no mosquitoes. That's the ancestors that woke you up. But go ahead.
Man, I'm telling you, something woke me up. And then I panicked too, because I'm like, damn, the kids ain't in the little thing. The only things out here with us is animals. So I'm like, oh shit. I don't know who to call right now. But I'm like, shit, I left my phone in the car. I get up to go get I'm looking for my keys. I'm like, damn it, the keys going. Oh shit, they might have been kidnapped. I'm over here panicking. I get up and look in the car, all these little motherfuckers in there on their phone. They done found my little jack for my charger. They in there on their phone, got the car on. They ain't driving it now, but they got the car on. They got the AC on. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers here.
That's hilarious.
I just cut the trip. I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'm with y'all. I ain't gonna fight this shit. I'm gonna take y'all to this goddamn hotel. Y'all plug your shit up and go to the pool in the morning. Fuck it. I'm like, because I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what else to do. And it's like they kids, so it's like sometimes you can impress your will upon them, and sometimes they got their mind made up. Like, nah, I don't want to be no outside kid. You know what I'm saying? Even like growing up, we knew some kids like that, like just
But you
not
want to know
really
what?
outdoorsy.
My son did not. Like, I live like kind of, you could say, the outskirts of Washington D.C. Right? And I will always be like, son, you want to come with me to DC? This is what's going on. Da 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 da. And he'd be like, no, I don't want to go to DC. No, da, da, da. I don't want to be in DC. I don't know. I don't want to go there. Da, da, da. And I'm like, what? Like, you can't just not stay in your neighborhood. It's the like you're literally replicating my childhood, even though I grew up in New York, not leaving my little circumference. Like, that's not good.
Right.
One year, I decided to take him to my parents' country, which is Panama. And he did not want to go with me to Panama. And I said, well, I'm going to Panama and I don't have anyone to stay with you to keep you for a whole week. You're a teenager, you got a nasty attitude. You're going to come with me as opposed to irritating some family member of mine for a whole week. No, you're coming with me. Within 24 hours of being there, he was trying to convince me to buy property there. My family members live in a very, very impoverished part of Panama. When I say, like, basically they have my siblings have an outhouse. They don't even have their own private toilet and shower system. And my son wanted to stay the night there. He wanted to stay with them. He was completely like, I like this. He saw the hood of the hood. Like, the police was patrolling with what do you call it? Assault rifles, I guess you call it, like a rifle. And they were walking around with the rifle in the I think it's called not Patron, it's Patron's patrol system. It's the where you're kind of like you pull it up and then you're be in the fire. It's the
Right.
I forgot what it's called. Damn it! But it's particular uh uh stature that you hold your weapon where you're like right at the second to fire. But they're walking around with their rifles, pretty much ready to just start busting shots at everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. And the police are patrolling the environment with the rifle in the shoulder, ready to just pop up and bust shots. And I'm like, you want to stay here? He's like, yeah. People walking around with no shoes, no nothing. He's feeling completely at home. I'm trying to stay right here. And I'm like, you didn't even want to go around the damn down the street to DC. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes forcing them in a new environment is good. So like what you did with your nieces and nephews, they may not have appreciated it then, but they will be more likely to actually go camping now, having that small experience than somebody who never had that experience. Trust. You planted the seed. It don't feel like you did, but you planted the seed.
Oh, for sure. I like fast forward to now. I got two of them that consistently go out and they consistently ask me about things, fungi,
Mhm.
rock formations, and where the algae should be, and like you know what I'm saying, little questions, little things that I don't mind them calling and annoying the fuck out of me with. You know what I'm saying, like because they getting outside the house. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit if it's only down the street. It's outside. I'm happy with it. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to feel like I did a little contributing. I wouldn't say that I did all of it, but hell yeah, that's why I agree with you 100% on that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it does take that nudge just to give them the open-mindedness to look into these things. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time they're kids. They don't have any idea how fun life can be or how dangerous life can be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's our job to kind of give them that little nudge in the right direction so that they can see it and now go in your now go where you're gonna go. I can walk you up to the door, but I can't walk you in there, sign paperwork for you. No, I can't do all that. But what I can do is guide you into a certain point, and then when you're ready, you should be able to go ahead and walk off on your own. And they normally, when you do the right things and you put the right things into them, you normally get the right results. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say they're gonna be perfect, but shit, they're gonna be a lot better off than without the information that was provided to them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of children that have their one parent household or even two parent households, and they still don't get provided the type of information that they need to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of their family environment.
I agree. I think that this is just my assessment of Black families. We either, one, replicate lots of the things that we were given, and with that, we also pass on some of the deficits that we didn't get. Our kids don't get either because we just give them what we got, and that's it. And then there's other group of parents that say, I'm gonna give my child everything that I didn't get, but it's very difficult to do that and give them what you already got, because some of what you got was out of poverty, out of lack, out of all of these other adaptive things, right? So when you don't have the poverty, you don't have the lack, you don't end up teaching your children these things, so the children don't get those lessons. So I think this current generation is a balance between either young people who pretty much got the same dysfunctional lessons that their parents had, or maybe they might have gotten functional lessons, but there's a lot of other like common sense shit that's missing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could just say, like, I don't know, spoiled, or they just don't have that like street or common sense type of adaptability because they never had to use those things.
Right.
And you kind of like, okay, which one is better? To me, they're both bad. Like, I don't think
I agree.
one is bad. Like, you know,
I think a sprinkle of
something was wrong when my son tried to eat spaghetti at someone's house and was asking them, do you have Parmesan cheese? I was like, why do you have to have Parmesan cheese? He was like, how do you eat spaghetti without Parmesan cheese? I was like, my God, he's spoiled. I was like, what? How am I raising a spoiled kid? But it just happened because he was accustomed to having these things. It was like,
to a point where it ain't even spoiled to him. It's a preference. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To him, it's preferential, and it's like, okay, well, I'm used to this, so like, do you guys have this? It's not even, and it doesn't take away from what he, you know. Sometimes that happens, though, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that sometimes that crash course is what we're gonna encounter it, whether we want to or not.
No,
You know
but
what I'm
Brandon,
saying?
when I grew up, I never had Parmesan cheese, right? So when I went to someone's house, I would never ask them
For Parmesan cheese.
for that. But for my son, he was like, yo, how you giving me, like, I'm sorry, where's the Parmesan cheese? Like, it's missing. He didn't even be like, do you have it? He was just like, where's the Parmesan? You give me spaghetti, but there's no Parmesan. And I'm like, son, they don't have it. I'm trying to whisper and shit to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have the Parmesan. Like, but what do you mean? It's spaghetti. I'm like, oh my God. Is he really about to like freak out because he feels he can't eat spaghetti without Parmesan cheese? That is being spoiled. And I had to recognize that I created that environment that every time we had spaghetti, these things, you had your Italian bread and you had your Parmesan cheese and you had your meatballs and it was always one way. So he, like at the age of 9 or 10, like, this is just how it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're supposed to have this. And I think that lack of adaptability, sometimes when Black folks work so hard to provide for their kids, they don't, that lesson is missing for their kids.
Yeah.
Peace to whoever that is who joined.
That would be Suave Beezy in the motherfucking easy.
Suave My brother Suave was looking mighty suave in his white tee today.
It was going down early.
What's
I
up,
ain't even want
family?
to say
What's good,
nothing,
Melly?
man.
Was good.
I ain't even want to say nothing earlier, melanated. I ain't even want to get into
That
like
shit was
it was
crazy.
for real. Like I once I seen it was for real. Like it wasn't really. I ain't even want to. I like real shit. I know bruh been going through something blue. You know what I'm saying? Like he done took a L. You know what I'm saying? As far as like those who are living and with us. So I know that
Oh
hits
wow.
everybody different. And he ain't the type that he doesn't know how to open up to me. It's from what I've learned from him. He's not a really open person. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he's dealing with whatever he's dealing with, as well as making small observations and taking it to different heights, because he has he's feeling whatever kind of way. Personally, I'm not even I have zero issues with Blue. You know what I'm saying? And nor will I let any of my brothers take it outside of the internet with him, because he's a brother too. He's a comrade. He just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes shit like that
That's
happens
true.
where you get, by affiliation, you get lumped into a box. Because if I affiliate myself with rapists, how the fuck would I look? You know what I'm saying? Like even if you didn't know me for raping, but you see me hanging with rapists, what would you assume about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I would assume about me if I was hanging with people that are considered rapists and or murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
But you know
begin to
what? And I
get
would
yourself
say that
categorized.
that's true, but I don't. When I think of Blue, I don't necessarily think of Lex. I don't think of Blue as being the same as Lex. Like I don't know, and that to me, maybe I would attribute that to um how well Blue represents himself or presents himself, as if his thoughts are his own thoughts. I don't know. I'm just saying that like he doesn't come across like him to me. Like you know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying, that like, if you associate with a certain person, you're going to, or you know, of ideology, you're going to be lumped into that ideology. And I do
Especially
agree.
if it spills over into into your personal life. Like, let's say you're hanging out with the homegirl. You know what I'm saying? You got a mutual friend, right? That you and your homegirl know, and this mutual friend comes to you and says something to you about your friend. You know what I'm saying? Or consistently says something to you about your friend. You know what I'm saying? In a negative light, like, oh, I don't like her hair, and I think she's fat, and things of these nature. You know what I'm saying? And how would you engage that person? You know what I'm saying? Like, from that point on. And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes it's not even that Blue is the person that is necessarily behind the movement, but it's like it's hard to discern anyone from somebody who's like literally saying like fuck you and your mama, hope your kids die and shit like that, to active humans. Like, there's real people. He done said all kind of shit to me, Suave, Goldmine, Anonymous, Yara, and I mean, like, on a personal level, like really personal type shit. And it's and then I might see this person hanging out with this nigga, and I'd be like, damn, brother, you condone this shit? Like, are y'all cool with this shit? Like, and if that's the case and y'all are, then it kind of makes me engage that person differently. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that person's willing to disrespect me. Now, you don't you say you don't, but when this person does it and this person's around, nobody's checking this shit. Nobody's saying, hey man, you're wrong for this. Nobody's pulling them to the in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Saying like, hey man,
Mm.
hey bro, you should stop that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? No one has done that. If you've noticed on these panels, Suave will jump out the motherfucking window on a nigga in the middle of a conversation if he hear the word bitch. Mainly because he knows that with guys, that shit can get real, real. real quick. You know what I'm saying? So as a measure to stop things, whether it be myself, Goldmine, or any human on the panel, he'll hop in and say, "Hey man, cut that shit out. Don't use that. Stop that.
I
Shut that
wish
shit up." You know what I'm
I
saying?
wish
Like,
that they would really start to feel that way about addressing women as quote unquote bitches. But I will say that Brother Taz definitely nips that shit in the bud the first time he hears the B word. But I wish that more black men would adopt that it's not acceptable, or it's like, oh yeah, I saw that bitch, or that bitch, but she a fine ass bitch, or like, like that wouldn't be normal speech for them. And they would be just as touchy as when they hear it's referred to from man to man. That it could be equally as offensive, because none of us are bitches. Not just men are not bitches. Women are
right,
not.
women are not either. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just my
And I
two
think
cents.
that, and on that note, sis, here's what I think. I think that it has to become, it has to be depopularized within the male community of even utilizing that. You know what I'm saying? As a means of a description. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be for a man and or a woman. You know, like as we evolve in thought, like we have to evolve in the things that we say and the things and the words that we use and how we engage these things.
Hmm.
Because whether people choose to acknowledge it or not, these words give off vibrations. They have effects on our everyday life, especially with how it's being used and how we're allowing it to be used on us. And on a personal note, I don't know any man, you know what I'm saying, like personally, that allows any woman in his family to be cursed out, called bitches and hoes and things of that nature. So it's like it's it's one of those double standard type of things where it's like, well, I don't let nobody call my family no bitch, but I'll call somebody else a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or it's easy to refer to someone else as that, as opposed to just, maybe using other words to describe what you actually mean. Because um, to me, it's like very lazy vocabulary to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like to just chalk it all up to bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really what you meant to say? And if that's the case, if we're going by what you're saying, it's a female dog. It's not even like an accurate description of the person, their mannerisms, their actions, or anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't give anything to the imagination. You're just literally spewing out something that you've heard that has been popularized in our community. And I personally, I think that we need to start leaving out a lot of words, but I don't know. And I don't get on these panels enough because I personally don't like I don't like the I don't be wanting to argue because I be dead ass serious. Like about certain things like that in particular. Like I don't like that shit. Like I don't personally, in my personal life, just be running around and saying, "Oh, I fucked this bitch and I got that bitch," and I don't feel comfortable doing that. You know what I'm saying? Nor do I feel comfortable engaging with a woman that I'm like, interested in ever calling her that. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I'm mad, like I don't think that's a good go-to word. Like I think that if you're mad or if you don't like the situation that you're dealing with, there are other ways to deal with the situation as opposed to just finding like the easiest way out, such as calling somebody a name, bitches and hoes and pussy this and fuck nigga that, and those are very lazy ways of expressing oneself. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's just my personal, opinion, sis.
You're
But
right.
I'm with you
I
on that,
would agree. I would
and I
agree.
don't,
I
and I
just
don't,
feel
and
like
I don't
I
condone that
didn't
shit
mean
either.
to like change the whole
No, you
topic.
good.
I feel like, being that mostly men listen to this, I think it's just important to at least mention that it's actually men that are in charge and in leadership of setting the pace and setting the trend and changing the dynamic, and whatever standard that you place in place for women, they will rise to that occasion. And when you want them to stop acting like bitches,
Right.
they will, because they want your attention. And if they act like a bitch and still get your attention, that's not really motivation for not acting that way. But if they don't get your attention because they're behaving a certain way, then it's motivation to change that, you know. And
And
this
you're
thing,
touching on an even deeper subject, because that would even mean that we have to upgrade what type of people that we're involving ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? Like the general standard would need to change. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, well, listen, a young man called himself being interested in Melanated Goddess, and he kept using the N word. And I said, wow, you really, I just noticed that you use this word a lot. Like, um, is that how you see Black men? And he was like, I don't know, I'm saying it's just a figure of speech, you know, it ain't that serious. Yeah, guys know I'm not dealing with that young man, right? So like it's a way of weeding out, because I'm not gonna align myself who sees himself, who sees my son, who sees
right,
who sees
right.
us as the N word. Like I'm that's just not my mentality. So when you're thinking about aligning yourself with someone who's like-minded, if you don't see yourself as an N, why would you get with a woman who just calls you the N every minute? That's crazy. And if I don't see myself as a bitch, I'm definitely not going to be with a man who calls women bitches. Like that
Right.
is out. That's like not happening at all. Point blank. Period. I
That's
don't care
out of there, right? Yeah.
what's going on with you. Like so,
Rightfully so. That's rightfully so.
I just think that like that level of that standard alone, we need to get to that so that we can create that standard that we want, so that like your nieces and your nephews and your children, you know, when they get to a certain age, you can feel confident that whoever looks like you, they gonna have enough sense to be like, yo, you's a fine ass bitch. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right, right.
what? I'm supposed to hear that as a compliment?
As a compliment, like, yo, me and my sisters, like, our relationship is weird as shit. Like, I buy them guns and shit. We go to the gun range. Like, we since a young age, I've always talked to them about, yo, carry your mace. If you can't have your gun in this building or in this type of place, keep your mace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been on that. Like, to this day, even my young niece, my young nieces, my young cousins, I still talk to them the same way. I'm like, hey, look, that's it should be unacceptable. Whether or not your mom or your dad is talking to you about this in the household, these are things that are unacceptable in society. If somebody's doing this is unacceptable. And if you don't believe me, just look around and see what other people are willing to accept and how far they're willing to take things when certain things take place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very that to me, again, it's just my personal opinion. I feel like a lot of this begins within the confines of the home. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like that, but I don't want to put the onus on the woman, because a lot of times they're single mothers. I feel as though, as a black man, there's very bad representation for black men, especially when you have these faggot fuckboys like Kevin Samuels getting attention speaking on masculinity, when masculinity is it stretches far beyond the way that we interact with women and our sex life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about that. Sometimes it's experiential things. I learned a lot of things from my mother and grandmother about women from their experiences, not necessarily them them doing it in front of my eyes for me to see it. No, they were able to explain to me, hey, look, I dealt with this point in time, and this is what happened, this is the result. And I was able to learn from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just based on their experience and the things that they learned in life, passing it along to myself. So I don't see it as a bad thing for there to be more male involvement when it comes to raising children, especially girls, as we see like a lot of the younger girls now are dealing with or dating older guys, and they're looking for a male, that male role model that they did not have in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like that may have been absent. And that's the same thing for young guys. That's the same thing for young men. It sucks that like when it comes to children, 9 times out of 10, the mother is normally stuck with those kids. Now that guy can disappear and go the fuck wherever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? There are many guys that do that. You know what I'm saying? There were guys that used to do that back in the days, fake your death and start a whole nother family in a whole nother state.
Hmm.
And now people are finding
I
out they
appreciate
got
you for
relatives in
saying
a
that
whole nother
because they
state.
make it seem like the woman takes the child from the
Nah,
man, and it doesn't speak to, you know,
if we're
the
speaking to
men
a
that don't
societal norm,
actually
sis,
don't want that position. So I appreciate
I
you
don't
saying.
know of many men like, and I'm speaking towards societally, especially in the fucking America, that just up and say, you know what, I'm leaving and I'm taking the child. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, they're normally like, I'm leaving and fuck you and this kid. You know what I'm saying? Because it's societally expected that the woman is just going to take care of the kid. You know what I'm saying? No
Uh-huh.
matter what the
Right.
man does, which is it's something that I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that that's definitely something that has to change. You know what I'm saying? Like the onus cannot be just societally expected to be put on the woman. That's a lot of
Well, I
fucking
think
pressure.
that
Just like
it's.
it's
I
a lot
think
to put
that
it all on the man. That's a lot of pressure.
I think that it is okay. So for women and the man splits, and she quickly finds a partner, that is actually frowned upon, right? So I think a lot of the things are put in place based off of those norms. So it's accepted for a man and a woman to split, a woman to remain single, have difficulty finding a partner, maybe because she has the children or
Right.
whatever, right? And for the man to move on, have another
Immediately.
man, he contributes financially towards
Right.
his children. He gets them every other weekend, which is really 4 days out the month, right? And
Right.
he lives happily ever after, right? He can now, after some time, create a new family with this new woman and spend 100% of his time with those children and spend 4 days out the month with these other children. And that's literally societally wise acceptable, right?
Right.
That's acceptable for him to spend 4 days out the month, every other weekend, with his children that he has with this first woman, right? That's acceptable. But now she has her children 28 days out the month, right? 29
Right.
days, whatever, out the month, and has to navigate going to work, maybe trying to create a career, going to school, and trying to date in those all of those days, right? That makes it a little bit more difficult, and more than likely, she remains single a lot longer than he does. That's that's like by design. You know what I'm saying? If she got her kids every other weekend, she would definitely be booed up, right? It's easy, right?
And I want to point out something else too. And this is just a little sub sub note. All while this is happening, let's take the adults out of this. For the child's development, when we're speaking towards like children learning things, children developing and advancing, like in school, they normally have to stay in school for a certain amount of hours, certain amount of days, um, a certain amount of months, in order to retain certain information because they're taught these things repetitive. And I'm speaking on a psychological level. It's no different than, again, dealing with a single parent household. So when you're taking the single parent household and you're taking these children over to the father for the 4 days that were aforementioned, they're not necessarily getting the full benefit of having two parents. And the reason why I say that is because they're now going from their mother's environment to their father's and his woman's environment, which may contain children. So this is now a completely different environment, number one. Number two, the person that in question, the guy that's in question, has not left his comfort zone. So he's in his home with his wife and his other children, creating almost like a bubble of separation, whether the man knows it or not, and again, vice versa, if the shoe was on a woman's foot, whether the woman would notice it or not. They're creating a slight bubble of insecurity within the child, mainly because they're only allotted a certain amount of time. So if we're saying 4 days, that's a little over 72 hours. There's 168 hours in a week. We'll say 6 of those hours, those kids are going to sleep. So when we're actually breaking down the time frame and how much time they're getting, they're barely getting 2 days. They're barely getting 2 days and some change with their actual father figure. So when we look at this in a year, the single parent household, those children would have probably seen their father all of maybe 3 to 4 months out of the year. And that's tallying all of the days together. And I'm being generous by saying 3 or 4 months. Really, it's much less. Yeah, it's much less. They're going to be spending more time with their mother or in the single parent household as opposed to being with the father or in the double parent household, which again, the mother in that household is not their mother. So again, there's that bubble that I was.
Oh yeah, that's also. I mean, there's a whole another issue to come along with that. I think that bottom line is that children need both of their parents. I mean, like I have one particular girlfriend that legit from the time her and her child's father decided not to be together, they never had a whole child support situation. They immediately went to joint custody. So their child, she literally had two residents. 1 full week she lived with her mom. 1 full week she lived with her dad. That's fever, cold, flu, school trips, graduate, every situation, any condition that happened during that week that she was with her dad dealt with it. And every situation that happened when she was with her mom dealt with it. And if her dad had to incorporate his mom and his sisters and his best friend and his whatever, his co-workers or his babysitter, he dealt with it. And when she was with her mom, then the mom dealt with it. And
that's a pretty amicable situation.
His mom, her dad got married to a woman, and she literally said, I feel like I have two moms. And her mother was not offended. She actually felt like he is with someone who loves my daughter.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Now that marriage didn't work out, but at the time, that little girl felt like this lady loves me. And that's literally all that my girlfriend cared about. Like, she was not trying to break up their marriage. She, was cool. With the whole situation, the visitation continued, their visitation schedule continued. And that was like the first time of me seeing someone have joint custody, literally not court ordered. which is weird because most people, you know what I'm saying, most people go through the court to do it. And they just agreed to split all of her expenses straight down the middle and split the time straight down the middle. And for, I don't know, the last 10 years or so, they've just alternated weeks and it's just worked for them. And I'm like, yo, that's to me, that's Black excellence right there. No baby mama, baby daddy drama. No, none of that stuff. No, you took me to court. You only want money.
You know, and I don't want to be too personal, but keep in touch with me about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know in the chat because I'm interested about things like that. Like, I got a degree in psychology, so and especially when it comes to child development, Black child development, it's always interesting. I'm gonna assume
seeing
from
how
my
she develops
oh
it's
yeah,
really
I can
interesting to
see
see how
that
she
as
develops and how
100%.
she formulates her own personal relationships and how she establishes trust. I'm with you. I'm into mental health, so like that's my field. So trust me, I'm looking at this like this is so freaking healthy. For her parents to mirror that for her and model that healthy, you know, like she don't know what it is to see a jealous mom like, oh, who that heifer he with. She don't have that as an example.
Right, right.
And like,
So that creates that in itself right there is a learned trait. So that is something that you'd be passing on to whomever is actually observing you as a parent. But if that's not present, like that's why I'm like pretty interested about that. I definitely want
yeah,
to
they
know,
taking trips, and I
like,
was like, isn't that confusing for you? Like, for y'all to go on trips, like, you don't be having moments where you wish that y'all was a family again, you know? And she was like,
I'm pretty sure she's resolute at this point.
yeah, she said, when you see how happy your kid is that their dad is there, you just forget about it. Like, it's literally all about your kid's happiness. And I was like, yo, that's so mature. That's so mature. And
That's some
a
true
lot of
shit.
people aren't there, but that's where the community needs to be. Like right there. Like she literally was like, well, we're going on this trip. If you want to, you can go and like, I don't know, see your daughter ride a horse for the first time or blah blah blah. And he was like, all right, bet, I'm coming too. And he just goes and they just have a little moment. Like, but it's not like a romantic moment. It's more like a
A
family.
parenting thing,
I don't
family
know how
thing.
to
Yeah.
explain it.
Because to me, and that's why I want to keep up with it. That is no different than maintaining the family unit. That's
Hmm.
literally no different than maintaining the family unit. Half of like your past, if you think about it genetically, your past half your genes from your mom, half your genes from your daddy. So if you think about time and development, you're spending half your time with your mom, half your time with your dad. You're developing both sides. So both parts of those genes are activated because you're maintaining a set schedule of spending time with mom, spending time with dad. And if you also just incorporate or just throw in there family trips, and family outings, and things that revolve around that family unit. Oh man, I'm very interested to see how that goes because look, when I first got my degree, I was in Orlando, Florida, as a matter of fact, because that's where I'm from. Well, I'm not from Orlando, but I'm from Miami and raised in Orlando. Excuse me. I went to my internship was at a place called Lakeside, right? This is a mental facility. And I had to basically fucking volunteer my fucking time there and not get paid shit. Like I didn't have rent or whatever, and
Hmm.
deal with mental patients. And one of the things that I noticed that was reoccurring in the younger, a lot of the younger children that I dealt with of melanation and black children, the ones that were in foster care, had it the worst because the family unit was like literally non-existent. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they're going from group home or from foster family to foster family. And a lot of them harbored fucking horror stories and that shit. People getting molested, people getting tortured, people getting abandoned, people getting starved. You know what I'm saying? That led them to the point where they're in a fucking mental facility. You know what I'm saying? Where they're getting Baker acted, laid down on a fucking table and getting a shot in their ass and thrown in a room for 72 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be a catalyst that would lead someone to that moment. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wakes up in the morning says, I want to be forcibly laid down on a fucking table and get a shot in my hell no. So there had to be a catalyst that brought that person to that. And they clearly had to have a breaking point to bring them to that catalyst. So when you look at the development of black, children in general, the lack of family, the family component contributes to a majority of what we see. You know what I'm saying? As far as, and I'll take another for instance, what they call black on black crime, which is no different than Chinese on Chinese or white on white crime. There's no exponential numbers, even though they like to exaggerate it. I've yet to see it. Everyone does crime within their own community. But when you see the careless and callous nature behind, the murder culture, I call it, or death culture. My brother calls it. My brother Goldmine, he calls it the death culture. Where you have these young children basically killing one another and then bragging about it or carelessly talking about it. That's because they have not been taught to put value on black life, which is a fundamental that we would where would that be taught? That'd be taught at home. You know what I'm saying? Before you reach outside into the community, the first place you would have to receive that type of teaching to put value on not only black life, but your own life. Because once you have a little value on your own life, you'll definitely have a little value on other people's lives, especially if they look like you and resemble you, right? So, and again, these are things. These are my own theories. A lot of what I'm saying right now are my own theories, but I base them in studies that I've seen and experienced with my own two eyes. I see that the lack of the family unit has contributed to virtually everything that we see. And using the death as an example, but that's just one of many different examples that we see in the community that is plaguing our community that we complain about. But these are things that clearly start at the home. Like we really have to, you know, put the onus where it has where it's supposed to be. And when you describe a situation, um, melanated got it, about like a completely amicable situation where the mother has agreed, hey, I'm gonna take them this amount of time. The father's agreed, I'm gonna take them this amount of time, and they actually stick to that. That creates an actual situation for like growth, potential growth. Even if they've chosen, okay, we're not gonna be together, there's still potential for the child to grow, and it has to come by sacrifice of the parents. There's no other way around it. So like, yeah, I'm with you, sis.
But let me just add this really quickly. This example is an example of there being no child support, right? Because the child, visitation or time with the child is split literally 50-50. So the woman received no child support from the man, and the woman received no child support from the woman, and the woman received no child support from the man. So each of them had to fund a home with adequate space for the child, and so that she had her own room in both of her parents' homes, her own blah blah blah, her own toys in both of the homes, all of that good stuff. So like she'd go from one home to the other, and they pretty much the homes would be pretty similar, right? Not only that, but I think like when we talk about quote unquote nation building, this is kind of the opposite, because you had a man who only had one child and the woman only had one child. They didn't have any other children, you know. So usually you have people with multiple children, you know, which creates a lot of stress and pressure to provide and blah blah blah. And you know, you have all of these other complicated situations because of multiple children. So they both had this one child that they could spend most of their mental energy, like how can I be, like, you know, they're planning for their time with their child. What am I going to do with her? What are we going to, what activities could I put her in? They can financially afford to put the child in activities or transportation. Like all of those things play a role. And that a lot of those things aren't things that people really consider until after the baby is already here and they already have all of this stress and blah blah blah. So I just wanted to kind of state that there, you know, there wasn't arguments about money and, you know, where you traveling to, where you not traveling to, what you doing, what you're not doing, because like this wasn't even an issue, you know. um they both were doing well for themselves. Um, yeah,
I agree.
that's something to really consider, because I think that child support is really it's really demonized. Um, and I think that in certain situations where two people who have a child can't communicate, it's needed. And I don't think that people actually always consider that fact, that they act as if everyone who has children together just, you know, answer each other's text messages and phone calls, when that's not always the case. um, or respond to each other in a respectful manner, and that's not always the case. So sometimes you do need a mediator.
I agree that there
And
should
that
be
might
some form of mediation. I just don't like how the child support system is kind of manipulated. It doesn't it's not necessarily a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that. I have a friend right now that is like literally 40,000 in arrears for a child that is on record not being his. But because he's been, I guess, dealing with this for this long, like there's nothing that he can do. Like there's literally nothing that this guy can do outside of paying the $40,000 or keep having to get arrested and get his license suspended.
But see, like I'm a woman who the child support got lowered on because I got a raise at my job. So my
And
child's
again, that
father,
that's a
right?
manipulation. To me, again, though, to like I'm not saying that it's not needed at all. I'm just the way the law is set up. It's very it's on whatever's course
I
that it's on.
I think to me, I think it okay. So like if my ex would have had a child with a person whose life never progressed, then the amount would not have changed and he would have been paying the same amount. And you know, he could probably feel like, oh, I'm sticking in his pockets and he's taking care of me financially, blah 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 blah, all that
Right.
kind of stuff, right? But that wasn't the case, right? So like it his income that he was providing was provide helping support of himself, but I was making money to take care of, to improve myself, to improve my standard of living. And
Right.
by me improving my standard of living, obviously it's improving my child's standard of living. So we were doing better. And the court said, well, then he doesn't have to do so much. Like, it was like instant. You know, he was instantly awarded less money to pay. And I'm like, all right, well, bet. You don't got to. You know, I mean, the courts say that I should just be doing more, right? Like, if that's how the court wants to see it, fuck it. You know, I mean, do I feel like that's fair? I mean, I feel like he should be doing what the court felt that he should be doing as a parent. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not about to beg nobody to take care of mine that I gave birth to. So,
I think
you
that there
know,
needs to be some form of reform when it comes to like the child support system in its totality.
you trying to
And
take it
that's just
back
again,
to ancestors and the
not
elders
not
and
necessarily, not necessarily. I think we need to modernize, but I think that we need to like I think that this needs to be a collective thing. I don't think that this needs to be left in the hand of a few elders. I think that that's dangerous.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? If I
I
had
think that we
one
need to
kid,
collectively
right?
come up with some shit together, like together, not just the men and we hate this is what we no. The
No,
men
not just the
and the
men.
women
Listen, if I'm just tell you
come
the
together.
shoes on the other foot, right? And I had to give up 17% of my income
Yeah.
a month. Number one, I wouldn't be out here procreating left and right again. Not when they got the good old pill, patch, shot, diaphragm, after pill, morning pill, whatever the pill you call it.
Yeah.
It's no way I personally would be doing that multiple times when I have to give up 17%. But I think I could actually live comfortably if I budgeted myself off of 83% of my salary. Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
agree with you, sis. But this is what I'll
83% of
say.
my salary. And I could get my kid for 4 days a month. I'm getting them for 4 days a month, and I'm chilling
That's
with
American culture.
83% of my salary.
That's
I would
American
not
culture.
be fucking complaining about shit.
That's American culture.
Somebody else is dealing with back to school night. You sick? They got fever, stuffy nose. They got suspended. My ass is going to
Sprained
work.
ankles,
You staying home with them while they got suspended from
broken
school.
hearts,
I'm going to work.
first time falling in love,
Report card,
all of
phone
that.
calls, all of
All
the
of
bullshit.
that.
Your kid got caught stealing in the corner store. All of that bullshit.
All of
I'm
that.
only dealing with these
They're
4
getting
days a month,
profiled.
right?
They're black. All of that. Like,
Yes. You telling
that's
me
why I say we
I
need to come
wouldn't be
together on this shit.
complaining
Cause
about
this is
support.
this is too important. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, this is too fucking important to like not come together on this. Like yeah, there
Yeah, I
has to
would
be some
not be
kind of reform
complaining
because
about no, I wouldn't blame child support for the issues of the family. I wouldn't be
no.
complaining about the fact that this system, I gotta pay 17% of my income. Like, oh yeah, she getting all of my money. I'm like, it's I guess being on the other foot, it's an insult. It's really an insult because when I got my paycheck, I never looked at I'm only putting 17% towards my child and the rest belongs to
Right,
me.
right.
I never had that luxury. I never got a deduction of 17%. And I'm like, yeah, boom, I'm going to Cancun. Like my first vacation was in my 30s. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I couldn't do that. I just literally could not do that. And you know, the other half was able to, right? Because they only got 4 days a month. if they taking that. So like, I don't know, like I find it hard. Like that's why, like me and Lance, yeah, we don't rock too hard because he be going hard on that child support stuff, and I'm like, dude, just pay
Yo,
your 17% and keep your mouth closed.
I got a couple partners that paid that shit off early. Like they because of the way that that shit is set up, which to me was a very dirty game. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like this child support shit and how it works. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, like the kids are still growing. Like there's still a lot of fucking time left. There's a lot of development. Now it's like, okay, so I'm not financially obligated. So now it's like, well, I'll see him when I feel like the vibe is not right. You know what I'm saying? The vibe is
Yeah,
not
but
right.
I mean, see, but to
And
me,
this, and again,
that's
that's
still a
American culture.
mindset that's to me, that's still a mindset that what I need to do as a father is financially support. That is like if I told somebody all I did for my kids was wash their clothes and fed them. I don't even talk to them motherfuckers. I don't even read a book. I don't do none of that stuff. I just wash their clothes. I feed them. I make sure they go to school. That's it.
But
I would still be categorized as a bad parent. So how in the world you could pay, I don't give a fuck, $1,600 a month? How are you a good dad when you don't even see your seed? Like, I don't get that. I don't care if they don't need or want for nothing. If they don't know what daddy like to eat when he wake up, what his eyes look like when he wake up, what's his favorite song, how he do the nay. They don't know nothing about daddy. All they know, I got the freshest kicks. I got the nicest book bag. I get a haircut every week instead of every 2 weeks. My dad's a good dad. How do you equate that? But if my kid don't know how to read, but they got the best sneakers, I'm a bad mom. See what I'm saying? If my kid can't read, it's like, what the fuck is you doing? You too much on Instagram,
double standard. Yeah.
right? I'm real talk. I will be evaluated as a bad mom if my kid can't read. If my kid doesn't say thank you, please, and thank you, and whatever, I will have to teach them that through time, through experience, being with them.
Yeah.
But I just would like for that to be equal. That when that's missing, why people don't say it's not only the mother didn't teach it, his father didn't teach him. No one speaks about the absence of the father. All they speak about is what the mother did wrong, but they don't speak about the fact that the father was absent. And I think that both of those are fucked up. Not just one, it's both of those because she shouldn't have to do it by herself. That's the purpose of having the man and woman coming together, that they both do things together. So when she fuck up, where is him to say, babe, nah, little man gotta, yo, you ain't even say thank you to your mother. Tell your mother thank you. Where is it? That did never happen. Somebody need to acknowledge the absence of the male element. But that gets overshadowed because, you know, he pays 17%. So he's straight, he good. And that's where I'm like, yeah, bruh, trust. I paid for track and football. It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
17% when it
It's
comes
not
to
enough.
shit. Especially if your child's athletic, especially if your child's into into anything in schools nowadays. They like going on fucking school trips. That's expensive. It ain't like it used to be. Like it's like $10. Your mom signed a certificate, and your ass is sent the fuck off. Like nowadays, it's $50 to $100. You got to pay a little extra for the lunch, all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
They
just
want money for the what is it called? The little souvenir shop, right? They got to get souvenirs at the trip that they go on.
You know, and then there's societal
It
pressure
costs money.
because you don't want to send your child out with other children, and these other children are making purchases, and your child can't. So you know what I'm saying. So there are certain financial positions that would put you in where you're taking your last $20 and saying, you know what, fuck this gas. Here, look, all right, I want you to have this so that you know what I'm saying, can buy whatever you need to. Or I'm gonna budget this. I'm gonna spend 10. I'm gonna spend 5 on gas. Give them, you know what I'm saying, $10 to spend and keep 5, right? Because that's what you have to do. Humans making decisions.
Telling my son about stuff that he wasn't even experiencing yet. But I remember when I was younger, my friends, we went on a trip to Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, right from New York. We went on a trip to Hershey Park, and they went shoplifting in the souvenir store, and they got arrested, and the bus left them there in Jersey. I mean, in Pennsylvania. Their parents had to come out to Pennsylvania to get them. So I told my child, I'm trying to scare the hell out of him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm saying this to say, like, when you're a parent, you know what I'm saying, you can only give your kids what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is what you got, you're like, hey, this is a good lesson to learn. Hey, son, don't be going to stores picking up stuff, because I'm not coming out there to get you. You try to scare them and all this shit. But the reality is there is that competitiveness, like you said, when their friends are buying certain things, you know, little $13.99, $15.99, $21.99. They buying little things in the store, and your kid has $6, $5 in their pocket. You know, so it's a lot more when you're looking at like what your 17% is going towards. And then what this other 100% of their income is going towards. Right. And
it's the same shit that we went through as children as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally history repeating itself, because whether we stole or not, we still, you know, were put in positions where our parents had to sacrifice for them. You know what I'm saying? For us to go out and have a good time. And that's just in school. That's not including the time when they're out of school. Because that's something completely fucking different. That's okay, let's go to the movies, mom. Okay, let's go to the mall, mom. I want these shoes, mom. I want you know what I'm saying? That's not that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is like mind-boggling to me. That's why I agree with you totally. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's pertaining to like both people being there. Like, it is fucking imperative that the father be there. But because of the absence of the father, which I'm not gonna say is like all the fault of black people, I blame that mainly on white supremacy. But now that people kind of have a knowledge of that, I feel as though the onus is on the people. But I still, you know, put the main blame on white supremacy when it comes to why that even took place. But the lack of the father being in the child's life, like that contributes to fucking literally everything that we see. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and
it's
easy to blame, I guess, the mother, because societally it's easier to put the blame on a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's done in the Bible, it's done in the Quran. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of the shoulders of the woman. You know what I'm saying? As far as in society, like she has to do fucking literally everything. It's like the woman has to be fucking Spider-Man and Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, have a job, raise
well, but you know what I will say to the Muslims in the Quran, in the event of a divorce, the children do go to the father. That is like pretty much automatic.
Yeah. But
knowledge as far as like Quranic doctrine, the children go to the father, you know, which is very different, you know, in other things. I just wanted to give a shout out to Melanated's favorite fan. I think everyone can guess who my fan is. What? That is Brother Singleton. Shout out to Brother Singleton. Shout out to you. Pseudoisms. Big ups, big ups. Yes. Um, I'm not, I feel like I speak as a success story as opposed to being coming from victimhood. So I definitely whine and complain. Um,
I
I
wouldn't
think
say
earlier today I actually put hashtag motherhood is light. Like I embrace motherhood. I embrace my situation. And um, that we had our ups and downs, but I don't feel like I had a tumultuous situation with my child's father. He definitely didn't bitch and complain about financially supporting his child, such as you, Lance. He's never done that. Um, so
directly.
he just stood up to his responsibility as a man and financially supported his child and 4 children that he created, and without whining and complaining about them, right? And I respect that in any man who does that. That's respectable. Any choice, no one forced him to have children. Any choice that you make, you own that shit. You deal with it. You don't cry and whip out the violins and start playing violin music and wanting people to put money in a bucket and feel sorry for you, such as Brother Lance. But I mean, I really, he's very consistent in supporting me and being a fan of me. And I don't know why this brings pleasure to his life, but he loves
So,
it. And so I want to pay it back, paying it forward, Brother Lance. I can see that you are a fan of me. I saw the chat and I wanted to pay it back and be a fan of you as well and recognize you in this moment and big you up. Big up my fan, Lance Singleton. All right. So I hope that you're done commenting about me. And I hope that you can find some growth in this, right? And every, dollar that even was paid, right? Forget about what's currently paid because baby situation has changed. But just maybe the way that you do it was paid, you can just see it differently. It's like, when I was in church and it was offering time, they told us to give cheerfully. Isn't that what they told you, Brother Bay, when you was in church?
I
They
wasn't.
put on a good music. They put on a good music, like it's offering time. It's a cycle. They want you to be happy to give. Because who wants you to give an offering with like a nasty attitude? You know what I'm saying? Who the frick want that? That's like messed up. But if you give it with a positive attitude, it's like it's different. It comes
It's
from the heart. You're happy about it.
you can't. I know it's hard, but you gotta ignore Lance. Lance is a psychopath. Lance, even though he is
No,
your number
I mean,
psychopath, he is completely. I've literally put
he's
him in that.
very bitter.
Oh yeah, of course, of course, of course. There's a lot of. I've met a lot of bitter guys about that. You know what I'm saying? Just bitter, very bitter. And instead of trying to like find some kind of common ground with them and the woman, it's like they're just like, nope, fuck it. I'm just, I'm a man. I'm stuck in my ways, and this is how it's gonna be. Like, like it's like borderline, like childish and goofy, like little rugratish. You know what I'm saying? Like alfalfa ish. You know what I'm saying? Like this little men's only club. Like they have to live like this and no girls allowed type shit. It's really weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Because the,
even
the thing about it, I personally do not um paint the picture that women as mothers are always perfect, and they don't do very, very disparaging things either towards the father of their children or their own children. Absolutely. 100%. That is absolutely possible. It does happen. Not just possible, but it happens. It happens a lot. It happens often. See, so like I can be on record saying mothers do effed up things to their current dudes, to their ex dudes, to their ex husbands, to their children, to their children's families. I can be on record saying all of that. And I also know that it goes the other way around. So what I choose to do is promote that we need to have the child as the focus, right? And no one should say a kid don't need $500 a month. What do you mean? What environment do you want your child to live in? Because I could tell you, I could either raise your child in Park Slope, or I could raise your child in the pink houses in Brooklyn. Which one you want me to do? Which one? Because I can't raise your child with $500 in Park Slope. I can promise you, I can't do that. But if your child go to school in Park Slope, their school is probably going to be on greatschools.com a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. But if we go into the Brownsville pink houses, we probably going to be a 2 or 3 out of 10. So you want to give me $100, $200 a month? Like, these are the real things when you're talking about caring for a child, the quality of their life that both parents can provide. So if you got issues with what she is able to bring to the table, you should have thought about what she brought to the table before you shot up the freaking club. Because trust me, that was never a question when my son's father shot the club up with me. And I've always provided optimal environment for him. See, he wasn't concerned about the environment I'm about to provide for him, his child.
Telling you don't even entertain Lance because he's crazy as fuck. Because I know for a fact, you know what I'm saying? Like a majority of men aren't thinking about that shit. Like, oh well, is she in a good financial place and is she stable with jobs? You know, these niggas ain't thinking about that. They're only like, let me have sex and do
Me
what,
too. How you saying that?
like literally. That's why it's like, you can
But
entertain.
me too. How could you not be concerned about, like, let's say you get awarded like she does place you on child support. If you get awarded child support, like part of the award has to do with her actual income. So if you get child support by a woman who makes $75,000 a year, it's not going to be $1,500 a month. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not. It don't matter how much you. I mean, I'm gonna say it don't matter how much you make. If you're like a celebrity or something, well, yeah. But if you also make $75,000 a year, you're not going to be paying 15 grand when she makes 75 grand. 75 grand. But if she makes 13 grand, yeah, buddy, she saw you coming. You know what I'm saying? Like she saw you coming.
And depending on the circumstance, I've seen circumstances where the woman is paying child support. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna say the girl's name, but I know someone personally who had 5 children with this abusive Negro who somehow, some way got out of his drug induced coma, go to court and somehow sway the judge to get full custody of the children. So the dude doesn't even take care of the children, by the way. Uh, but the woman, literally every job that she works. So the way her life is set up, a lot of times she has to stay with people because they're fucking deducting the shit out of her
Mhm.
paycheck, unable to financially support herself.
Should, which they should. I'm not even because she's a woman, that doesn't mean nothing. She is not dealing with the day in, day out of her children. If she
Oh,
was actually paying a daycare, she'd be paying out the ass. So why couldn't she pay for the other parents so
yeah,
that they subsidize that? Like I don't feel bad for her. If
no, the
she
girl
ain't physically getting her kids, then oh well.
does every day. Here's the crazy thing: the kids now, I guess, stay with her, but I don't know what it is with the state of Texas. Like, there's some backwards ass laws here, but like, yeah, she's still on the hook. She is like literally still on the hook. So I don't know. Hell, I don't even know what to tell the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first, she just went over there to see the kids every day. You know what I'm saying? In between going to work and stuff like that. And then, like, eventually she got herself a place. Eventually she got, a little bit more stable. So then she started taking on the kids more. And now the kids are living with her, but they're still deducting this money and it's still going to this drugged out dude.
Oh boy.
And it's like, it's nothing she can do. Like, she can't take money out to get a fucking lawyer because it's like, okay, you got these kids.
I'm about to say she needed an attorney, but
You know how
I
life be.
mean, stuff like that do happen to guys as well, where like those are like those fluke cases. You know what I'm saying? That definitely slip through the cracks. Because it's cases like that that happen to guys where they're paying and the women don't even let them see their kids, and like, and I'll be feeling bad for them. Like I know there's people who manipulate the system, so it sounds like this woman is doing what she's supposed to do now, but because she wasn't doing it before, she's pretty much getting screwed out, and the dude is just pocketing the money, but the kids are with her. And
Well, I think he was always popping these money. I think he continued his drug habit of embalming fluid and whatever other drugs that he was using. I know embalming fluid for sure.
I think that a lot of these situations,
I don't know
um
how, like,
a lot of these situations can be resolved, and I think that child support should be the last resort for any sort of like incorporating a a mediator. So there are times where bringing in family members or the elder of one of the two family just won't work. Let's say the woman's family only sees her side and they can't be objective, or the man's family only sees his side and they cannot be objective. Then you know just to get the child's needs met, it might be in the best interest to get child support. But if you can avoid it, I say avoid it. Like my girlfriend and her child's father, they definitely have never gotten child support, and they do it. So if you can avoid it, it works. It works. Just talk.
I could do
Think about your kid.
it. At the end of the day, the child's development is like the most important part of the entire conversation. So I think it's like, once people divulge into the financial aspect of it, that becomes the focus. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's mainly the development of the child. You know what I'm saying? And the mind frame of how that should take place. Because when it comes down to it, Shouldn't really matter how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? This is your kid or kids, like, or children, multiple children. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't fucking matter how much it costs for this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it may cost a lot, but that comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? But that's a two-way street. That's not just on the man, and it's definitely not just on the woman. You know what I'm saying? I think that both have to partake in it. Whether or not they choose to agree with one another or not is irrelevant. It always really has to be in the best interest of the children. Because outside of the financial things, outside of the shoes, the clothes, the hats, and you know what I'm saying, the jewelry and video games and other things that the parents buy, there are fundamental moral values that must be instilled in children when we're talking about going out into the world and not becoming another statistic. You know what I'm saying? Falling
Mhm.
into already known cycle that we see continually perpetuating itself in our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like continually. Like we even see it now. We see it when we're younger. Our parents seen it. You know what I'm saying? So clearly it's something that's there. It's something that we have to acknowledge is clearly happening. So I really think like focusing on the kids is like the only way to get ourselves out of this rut that we're in. You know what I'm saying? As far as the things that we've been dealing with as a people, as a whole. Um, Without it, I don't see us progressing outside of where we are now. You know what I'm saying? And our position in life clearly changing. People are moving in, they're picking up the jobs, getting all the good goddamn money. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, where we are is going to be even lower than it is now, and that's the trajectory of where we're going. So I definitely think that like there has to be not only something in place to keep the relationship between the mother and father intact because that's important and crucial as well as far as like fundamentally developing the child mainly because y'all it don't matter if y'all get along. I don't give a fuck if you hate each other. There are people who hate the job that they go to, hate every fucking employee there, but they go there and they go to work successfully.
Mhm.
Hey,
Why do
what is
you think this?
when a motherfucker say I can't get along with this one individual, this woman
Well,
or
why do you think they get along? Why do you think they're able to stay at their job?
well, again, they're looking at the materialistic gain. They're looking at the financial gain. So
So they're looking at the benefits
benefit.
of that, right? And once people actually have like tangible benefits, you know, I struggle with relating to a woman who sees no benefit in their child being around the father. I do. Like I don't want to say argue, but I challenge women and I get frustrated and sometimes I just cease communicating with them altogether if they are like truly ignorant. But when I'm around a woman who speaks about a father as if he's irrelevant, it
Yeah.
irritates me that you are so self-absorbed that you really think your child only needs you, a woman. Doesn't matter what gender your child is. A boy needs his father, and so does a girl. Like, you're dumb all the way around by thinking your child doesn't need their father.
Yeah.
This is dumb. And I don't really have like really kind words for women who speak like that. That they are, so when you don't see the value,
Yeah.
and it's really about getting that person to see the value. So if I had more patience, right, then I would say, well, let's look at the quality of women that we have now. And do you really think that these women have their fathers? Now, do you really think like I could kind of walk them through the whole thing is to get them to gain the value? But I guess in the moment when I'm having these conversations, I'm just really irritated that, like, how the hell you don't know, how you can't see this, how you can't, like, who raised you? That's what I'm thinking. Like, for you not to see value in the man. How do you not see value in balance, male female? Like, how do you not see that men who are only raised by their fathers and lack that feminine balance, that exposure to the feminine energy, they're out of balance as well.
Yep.
Like, how do you not see that? I just have difficulty relating to women who are just who want to shut the man out. Those women, I can't rock with them. They bugging to me.
I ain't gonna lie. Like for me, growing up personally, I was lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like my father was a whore, I'll say, but luckily for me, my mother's side of the family is fucking gangsters. They made sure that nigga did everything he was supposed to do, which I guess in the beginning probably wasn't what he planned on doing, but after repetitive nature of it happening, began to understand the importance of it. And I'm grateful for my relationship with my father. You know what I'm saying? And the things that I learned from him and the things that I learned from him that I did not take with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what's up.
you know, and learning somebody, because some people are meant for, some people are, and it's a conversation I be having offline, but some people are meant for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not necessarily meant for relationships. Sometimes some people are, that's what they are. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what you are, that's cool. But you can't expect everybody to get down with your shit, and you need to be upfront if that's how you are. Don't lie to people. Don't fuck with people's emotions. Tell them like, hey, this is how I am, man. This is how I roll. I like to shoot the club up, and I like to slide after that. For my next victim, well, let people know that. You know what I'm saying? So that they can make a cognizant decision before they lie down with you. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't sign up for that bullshit. Sometimes people sign up for, hey, they want a relationship. They may have wanted a family, white picket fence, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Two different goals. So
Mm-hmm.
be upfront with what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want a family, you know, tell that man, and that man, if you don't want a family, tell that woman so that she can make a cognizant decision whether to lie down with you or not. And I can guarantee that it's not gonna go down the same way, especially if she's of good quality. It's not gonna go down the same way. Now there are some people out here that are just serving their sexual, you know, nature and purposes and whatever perverse shit that they got going on, but that's between them and whatever they believe in at night. You know what I'm saying? But those of us that actually look for good quality people and want something in life and want a family and all that shit, those type of qualities should, that that type of mind frame should be what someone is looking for when they're dealing with a mate and procreating to have children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should
Mm-hmm.
deal with somebody that you don't want to be with. And that's not fair to, okay, now I got my sexual pleasures, out, you know what I'm saying? I got to shoot the club up. We're in a so-called relationship, but deep down inside, you're looking for the next person to get with. That's not fair to do to that person. Because there are consequences. Just like there are rewards, there are consequences for these same actions. You know what I mean? So whether or not we view the children as rewards or consequences, this is the perpetuation of life, how life is made. You know what I'm saying? We come together and this is what happens. So we definitely have to, on both ends, um, kind of step up how we're viewing each other. And I know that like mainstream media, it puts a damper on how people view one another and what we view as beauty, what we view as important. You know what I'm saying? You got guys like well, I rent a Lexus truck, or I rent a BMW truck just to go to the club on the weekends to trick girls into, sleeping with you. Like, why not create the lifestyle that you want so that you could have those type of things outside of just meeting women? Like the whole way that we're going about coming together, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of skewed or off. You know what I'm saying? You got people that are like, you want to meet a woman in a club, like you want to meet somebody who's like possibly drunk, inebriated, breath smell like cognac. You know what I'm saying? Drink spilled on that's how you want to meet someone and create, a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or create something that is of substance. You know what I'm
You
saying?
nice people in the club. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
That it can't be done. I'm just saying, like,
No, no. I'm just guessing. I'm just joking that I wouldn't say that that's the optimal place. Like, yeah, I was just being silly.
hell no, I'm not promoting it. I'm not promoting it. We have better ways of making communication with one another. We have better ways of meeting one another. Like just like you said earlier, like when you gave the example of putting the child or forcing the child in a situation where now they're in Panama looking at a different way of life, and they're like, oh, Ma, you need to buy some land here. Like, fuck this, I don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some deep shit. And that's only from leaving from point A to point B. So imagine when you introduce all these caveats and these things into one's life, it creates a well-rounded person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the opportunity to create a well-rounded person, even if the father's not, you know, involved as they should be. But I believe that with some kind of unity between the mother and the father, we can definitely begin to repair our community. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly
Right.
a mother outsiders are not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're clearly monopolizing on our pain and suffering.
Dysfunction. Well, listen, my son literally told me, stop talking to my dad. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I just called him. He sounded just like you. Yo, because we your parents. So now what? Because I'm not gonna stop calling him. Every time you want some fuck shit, I'm about to call your dad. We're gonna be on the same page. You're gonna hear the same shit. You're gonna have to deal with it. He was not feeling it. We messing up your young adolescent life right now because you thinking you could tell me, oh mom, cash at me $20, and then you could hit your dad up and say, cash at me $30. But when he tell you to cash app him money, you need to ask me how he doing in school. Straight like that. And every time he got the request, he text me. The boy asking me for money. How he doing? Well, he not doing well. Da, 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 da. Now he got to deal with what his pops is telling him. It's problems. See? But when there was dysfunction and we not speaking, he was happy. But when we speaking, you got young adolescent issues you got to deal with because you're gonna have not one but two parents on the same page for your good.
Right. He can't be as slick as he want to be.
Can't be slick at all when both parents are watching. It ain't two
No.
eyes. There's a whole lot more watching going on and a whole lot less bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Children gonna test the waters, especially young males. Young males are gonna
Battle Axe, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, sister? Peace.
Peace
Shalom.
to you.
Shalom. How you doing? Peace to your
I'm
house.
good.
right, man. Don't beat
Yeah,
me
this
up.
is a good comment. This is a good topic. I was listening in this whole time. And I was
Hey.
like, oh yeah, I like these type of topics.
I'm grateful that the sister came on and decided to give a female perspective. We be needing the fuck out of that shit. So
Oh no, Sister Goddess, she got gas, man, for the conversation, man. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yo.
She definitely knows how to, you know what I'm saying, come up with some good questions and some good topics, everything. Keeps it rolling.
Yeah.
Appreciating the
I
sister.
would think that's peace, Battle X. I was, you know what, the conversation that Swab was playing earlier, the sister from the UK, when she was talking about she was talking about male and female being friends, right? And I was like, I really like I was really vibing with her perspective about men and women being able to be friends. And I know that a lot of men, well, I don't say it's a lot of men, because a lot of women do, a lot of people, let me just say, have issues with that. So some women have issues with their men having a female friend, and some men have issues with their woman having a male friend, right? But the things that she was saying was like, I just could relate to it a lot, because the type of male friends, or the type of friendships, that I should say, the type of friendships that she had, it's very clear. Like, she seems to have very clear boundaries of, because I think Swab asked her, like, what if your friend wanted to take you on a date? And just that word date, she was like, what do you mean him taking me on a date? Why would I be on a date with my friend? Like, I was like, yeah, like, I was really vibing with what she was saying about that you could have a platonic relationship with a member of the opposite sex and it not be sexual and it not be intimate or romantic or anything. And yeah, I don't, so I guess, because if for anyone who's listening, if they've ever experienced it, when people have hard time um dealing with it, it's weird to understand it, to like, why? Like, not every man you want to sleep with. So let's just say it's a man that you don't want to sleep with and he happens to be your friend. Then it's really easy to be his friend. See what I'm saying?
Well,
It's really easy because you don't want to sleep with him.
right. Well, it is, and I do understand that, because I used to, you know, I had a friend too that was a girl when I was about, I think I was about 13 or something like that. We wasn't, you know what I mean, coming on to each other. I don't even think that we had it out for each other like that. So I know that that exists, but I tell you this, the brother though, we don't know what he went through. He might have a confidence issues. He might have security issues. He might not be so secure within himself. You got a lot of people that they can play it off and appear as if they're very confident, and you know, nothing shakes them, but deep down, you know what I mean, there's some things and some flaws about themselves, whether it's physical, emotional, or both, that they know that their girl might be picking up on, and they can't overcome those things. They can't get past it. So when they see you with your friend, they're just kind of like, hey, you know what I mean? Today he might be, you know what I'm saying, outweighing your friend, but and he can feel confident with that today. But say you guys 2 years down the road and you guys have an argument, your friend's still around. This dude starting to think some insecure things about himself, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to that situation between y'all two and maybe what could possibly happen.
Right. But so you're saying the person who has the issue with it, they're the insecure person. Because see, like,
Yes, it's comes from insecurity.
yes, I
I
would agree.
agree.
I
I
would
agree.
agree.
It's an
I know.
insecure thing,
Well,
correct?
everybody who's listening is not going to think that they're insecure. People are going to, there's people out there that think that men and women, it's impossible for them to actually have a platonic, non-sexual relationship, right? And like, it's just I just don't get it. I just really, like, if me and my best friend were to go out to eat, I would never use the term date. I wouldn't use that to describe it. I would say I was chilling with my best friend, or my best friend went out to eat. I would never
Right.
say we went on a date. Like that sounds weird. Like it's like if he said, this is nice for on a date, I'd have been like, dude, chill. Like I don't even talk to him. Like I'd have been like, we don't fucking date. Like, like I would be like, come on now. Is somebody else coming? One of your shorties is coming out here? Like, somebody meeting us? You done sent the location to somebody? I would not think he's talking about a date with me because it's no, oh, I'm gonna send you a picture of me looking. It's no. I kid you not. Today, just today, right? He is polyamorous, so he's in a relationship with a sister, and he is entertaining another sister. Now, my best friend is not a Hebrew. He met a Hebrew Israelite sister, and he gonna message me, and I didn't know who he was talking about because he just messaged me. She don't got a booty, and he put like an emoji, like he was like upset, like crying, like right. And I was like, and I was like, so what? Like, it's more to a woman than a booty. And then he was like, you don't understand. That's what gets you in the mood. And I'm like, not her mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like we talking about this. So it could have been like for someone who was like attracted to him, I could have been like, well, oh, I got this. Or you see what I'm saying? Like I could have, if that was even our vibration, but it's not our vibration at all. So I'm like trying to see like, okay, first of all, I mean, they hold poly order. Like, did the first wife meet this wife, or like how you doing this, bro? Like, you trying to like, are you following the protocol here, or you just winging this shit, or whatever? So that was more of the conversation, and I'm saying that like somebody on the outside would get really insecure just for having a male best friend, not realizing that there's no romance. It's just friendship. It's just regular, like I'm talking to him as if one of y'all would have talked to him, like, so she ain't got no booty. I mean, what everything else look, I'm like, what? He said she's really beautiful. He said her face is very, very beautiful, breathtaking, he loves her conversation, all of this stuff. I'm like, then I don't hear what's wrong. So does she got hips? I mean, sometimes you can have big hips, right? I mean, I'm not a man, so I don't know if big hips can substitute a booty, but they look nice. Big hips looking like a booty. I don't
Most
know.
definitely. They look dope. Big hips is cracking.
See, big hips is cracking. That's what I told him. Focus on the hips. If she don't have a booty, she has a vagina, right? Like at least she has that. It's not like what women have to go through. And I ain't trying to go into all of that because there ain't no other women on here, but it ain't like what we got to go through, right? So she got the vagina and she got hips. She got a beautiful face and she got a beautiful mind. I say, go with it. But he doesn't know anything about Hebrew, anything. And I think it's a little much for him because he's Buddhist.
He's what?
He's Buddhist.
He's Buddhist. What the? Gonna need to stop.
Yes, he's Buddhist, so he doesn't know anything about the Bible.
Oh no, wait, what the fuck? I was gonna say for a second, what the fuck just happened here?
No, I was saying he doesn't. He met a Hebrew girl. My best friend met a Hebrew girl, and he doesn't know how to relate to her because he like if you ask him what's the first book of the New Testament or what's the last book of the New Testament or give me a book from the he don't know the Bible. He don't know what Exodus means. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know any of it. He doesn't know any. He doesn't know a law, statute, or a commandment. He doesn't know none. He doesn't know none. He just knows like being good, being righteous, being kind, being peaceful, like the earth and like, you know what I mean? Like that type of, I'm not gonna kill this spider. You know what I mean? Like he knows, like he's not trying to kill people, he's not trying to cause harm. He really tries not to offend people. So you could say that he's doing honorable and commandment like things without knowing he's doing them. Do you see what I'm saying? But he doesn't know those things. Sometimes I say church like things thinking he knows it, and I'll be like, I forgot, you don't know nothing about church. He'd be like, no.
Yeah, not everybody is raised up in the church.
A black dude, he's black, a black Buddhist.
Mm-hmm. A black Buddhist.
Black Buddhist. It's crazy. Crazy.
Well, yeah, I would view a brother like him still as a blank slate. I'm like, okay, I'm like Buddhist. I'm like, okay, it ain't gonna be too hard to get you out of that. I'm like, why? I'm like, I don't know too much about it, but I just don't feel like it's gonna be able to hold too much weight against whatever it is anybody can kick.
You gotta stop trying to convert and just work with. You know what I'm saying? You gotta meet people in. You gotta find middle ground. And you gotta meet people and work with them, now, man. Everybody ain't trying to be converted, man. Everybody ain't.
Well, she's with one. No, but he's with one. He's with an Israelite sister.
Well, so the thing about it is, if she pushes to try to convert him, he's just gonna say because. So one of the things I learned about him very early is that, like, when there's certain things, like a person can be very accommodating and open and, like understanding. But when it comes to like when he feels like being pushed, I feel like that's where like his masculinity just jumps out and it's like, this is the line. No, you're not gonna, push. So he ends up being with women who are very accommodating to his way. And I don't mean like they become Buddhist, but let's just say he's dating a woman and he says, we're gonna have a joint account. She doesn't be like, whoa, hold on, like that's too soon. They automatically be like, oh, okay, babe, like da 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 da. I be straight tripping, like, damn, yo, how she doing a joint account with you like that? Like, I be tripping, but that's like how his energy just, it commands that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like almost like if you want to be with me and you want access to what I have, this is how you gain access to it. So it's either gonna be joint or fuck it, nothing. And these women be like, okay, like they just go along with it. Like, I'd be like, wow, this is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm just the best friend. I'm just on the sidelines watching. Like, this is different. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to opinionate on that, but I think that that's a lot to do with just the natural thing of men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's a good leader, I'm pretty sure they're gonna follow.
Right. I think a lot. Yeah, I think it has to do with a lot of that too. So I don't think that she can just pop up, be a new person in his life and tell him that her God is better than what he got going on, and she's just gonna convert him. I don't think that's how it's gonna happen. Battle Axe.
I don't think that's how it's gonna happen either. I just think that once it comes down to the food and plates getting served, he's going to just start noticing there ain't no pork up in that refrigerator after a while.
Oh, he don't eat. He's a vegan.
Probably don't
So
eat pork either. Yeah,
he's
I'm
a
about to say,
vegan.
if he's Buddhist, he's probably not even eating meat at all.
Yep.
Oh, he don't even eat meat. That's what I'm saying. I
No.
don't know.
Yeah.
He ain't
That
even
might be
eating
hard
meat.
on her. That ain't hard on him, I think.
Oh no, yeah. No. There's gonna be some convert popping off. Somebody's gonna convert.
She's not cooking that for him though. It ain't gonna be no bird cooking for him. She's not gonna cook the bird and then tell him to eat it.
Yeah, at all.
Man, that
That's
dude,
not
man, he's
happening.
gonna have. He probably. It don't matter how much money he have, man. He's probably gonna always just cook for real.
He gonna have that Israelite woman melting some vegan cheese up out this mug. That's what's
I'm telling you.
that Israelite woman about to be cooking some tofu out this mug for her man. That's what you Battle Axe.
That's what's gonna happen, bro. He know that shit. He just wanna get his food crazy.
I hope, man. I hope that sister, man, stands strong, man. I just hope.
Man, get the fuck out.
She said, I hope she stands strong. Listen, she gonna be like, look, this is the father of the nation right here. This man said he's a leader. He gonna about to lead us. Tofu is not that bad. That's what she gonna say.
Shit. She gonna say that into what's it called? Everybody gonna start telling that she has very, very bad breath.
Oh my goodness. No, he didn't go to the bad breath.
That is a stereotypical thing to say, but it does. Tofu don't make you have bad breath. Bad hygiene makes you have bad breath.
Man, I heard a lot of people say that it tastes good, but it gives them bad breath.
So do onions.
So do onions. That's a good one.
No, I'm talking about they said it makes them stink.
Make their body stink? No.
Yup.
I was actually I never really ate tofu, even when I was vegan. For more health reasons, you should really try to reduce soy. Yeah. At least women should. So I never really did a lot of tofu.
Men too.
Vegan for a while. Like, you can do without meat, Battle Axe. Like, meat ain't.
No, you can't do without meat.
Yes, you can.
Oh gosh.
Nah, you just don't know, man. It's doing stuff. A lot of bad shit is happening when you're not eating meat. Like I get because I got real strong fingernails, and if I don't eat meat for like a day, my nails will start chipping and splitting.
Wait. He said a day. Okay, Battle Axe. So, yeah. Do you think it's possible to have strong fingernails without eating meat?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, that's a lie.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Don't eat meat for a week and take a prenatal vitamin every single day and tell me if your nails break. I bet you they won't. I bet you they won't.
They can't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the prenatal. Yeah, you already know what's up. I know.
So with the prenatals, that's giving you
nutrients that your body needs.
Yeah. Absolutely. So all you need to do is give your body nutrients. You don't need to eat meat. All you got to do is supplement it from something else. You know, what's that dude named Moses? The one that was on here earlier today that was talking all that. He was so angry talking about vegetables. Like,
he had a real hate.
He was being so mad at Goldmine for being a vegan. He was like, yeah, you're over here eating nuts. You eat nuts. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, you're over here eating berries and I was like, and he basically said that you need to eat
in the beginning. Before we were able to forge, like if you just think about development, Before people knew
Mhm.
how to like develop shit to kill a fucking animal with, it was easier to pick berries and bananas and fucking cherries and apples and finding which one tastes good, where it grows, what time it grows. That would be a lot easier than making a weapon to kill an animal. And by the time they are able to make weapons to kill animals, they're not just using the meat just to eat fucking meat like how people are consuming thousands of pounds of meat here in America. No, they were using the skin for clothing, shoes. They literally made use of every inch of the animal. Whereas in now you're just eating meat to shit it back out and say that it's giving you protein.
But not only that, I think that what we overlook is that all of the things necessary for us to be able to consume and process animal flesh, such as the seasonings, the different things that we do to break down the meat. You know, we have meat tenderizers that tenderize the meat prior to us cooking it, right? We have marinades and things that kind of break down the meat, make it more softer and conducive for us to digest it. And then there's also a lot of the herbs aid in digesting this meat because it was difficult for us to process meat. So in the past, our ancestors actually consumed herbal stuff on a regular basis, right? Which we don't have a culture of doing that. Like people aren't just waking up having Bladerax, right? People aren't just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my daily dose of Bladerax for the day," or Cascarada or Cersei or Senna. People aren't consuming these these herbal things to help our systems digest whatever we ate. No, we're not doing that. So you sitting here eating a T-bone steak and a porterhouse steak and all this stuff, right? Couple times a week, but you're not having anything to help you assist to digest it. And then when you get 45, 55 years old,
Yeah.
your willy ain't acting right and you got prostate issues. I'm just saying, like,
What from you saying
oh,
from me? Wait a minute, me?
so
Diabetes and a list of fucking. I would love to see
colon,
gold mine
your
in that brother.
colon
So
affects your
that's
penis. Your colon affects your prostate health and your penis functioning. Absolutely. If your colon is not healthy, it's going to affect your prostate, and that's definitely going to affect how your penis operates. So they're all related. Yeah. Yes, sir.
okay. Well, the thing that's going to cause the prostrate issues is going to be the actual pork, the chicken, and the unsoaked
Beef.
beef.
Beef. So okay, so what's the good one to have? Fish and turkey?
You can eat fish, turkey, and you can eat beef too, but you got to soak that stuff, man. You
Listen.
can't. You got to have your beef sitting in water. You got to let it sit in water for like an hour before you eat it. It turns white.
Even if so, that has nothing to do with how your body processes.
No, man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, no, man, they just
That's
ain't
just
they
that's
not
just
telling you
it's no
about it.
different than curating any meat. You know what I'm saying? You can curate any meat. That's still that has nothing to do with how your body and your endocrine system actually
Yeah,
like.
no, you dealing with a spiritual doctor right now. You got the physical and medical doctors, and they exist, and I give them they props. But I'm a doctor too. I'm a spiritual doctor, and I'm telling you, if you eat meat that has blood inside of it, that man, I'm trying to tell you, that blood will kill you.
There is
That
no piece
blood.
of beef, no piece of beef that don't have blood.
That's why you got to soak it. That's what I'm
So
saying.
you
You,
think
So
after
you
soaking beef that all of the blood is going to be removed from it?
for the most part, it does. It turns white, especially like ground beef. you get that ground beef. I'm like, that's the main one.
Okay,
That's
so
probably
when it turns white, right? Are you saying that you partially cook it? Because it's okay. I'm just saying, listen, I hear what you're saying, right? But beef has blood. So whether the blood soaks into the water, absorbs in the water, absorbs into the beef, whatever, right? Beef itself, the texture of the meat is not good for your colon. Like there's no research that's going to tell you like you can't eat hamburgers 5 days a week and have a healthy colon. You can't eat
Or
steak,
a healthy heart.
a healthy heart. You can't eat steak 5 days a week and have a healthy heart or a healthy colon. I mean, it don't matter if it's soaked or not soaked. It's just not gonna go. No, you just not gonna have. It's everything not gonna pass all the way through. You're gonna have to take laxatives to move that sucker out your body.
Well, yeah, I get you on that.
But you eat you some
That's
kale,
too much.
some spinach, asparagus, some Brussels sprouts, some cabbage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Right.
good. You good.
No, not only you gotta have that with the equal portion.
Of what?
You have an equal portion of meat alongside all them other things you just mentioned.
Yeah, you
That's
don't necessarily have to. I mean, I
You don't
went
have to, but I mean,
I
you
went
can
years,
if you
but
want to.
it's nice. It tastes good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you it's like if you speak as if you're a very disciplined man, right? So if you're a very disciplined man, there's certain things that other people engage in that you don't, right? And you say, I don't have to have that. Well, it's the same thing about with meat. If I cook some beans and I stew them down and season them and they're nice and soft and flavorful with seasoning and everything else. And then you make, some rice or some couscous or even some mac and cheese or, vegan mac and cheese with, you make some vegetables, some greens, some green beans, some cabbage or whatever. You can make scalloped potatoes, like different things. Why would someone feel like it needs to have meat? The meal is missing something. The meal is there. It's fulfilling. It's satisfying. You got your carbs, you got your veggies. You can have multiple veggies, multiple carbs. Like everybody's, good. Well, you don't need meat.
I think that some people can. I think some people can, be content with that. I can't. I have to have meat, and I'm talking about. I gotta have meat.
I could dig it, bro. I mean,
I feel you.
yeah,
I'm no longer a vegan, so I feel you. Like I because I was that way, I know that if I have a vegan meal, I don't necessarily feel that absence. I feel like both either are good. I've had salads with no chicken, no salad, no crab meat, no nothing. Just have a salad with vegetables. It's still a banging salad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. It's still, you got your peppers, you just crunch it on a nice good salad dressing is good. But there's times where you can have, the meat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm an omnivore. You know what I mean? I ain't just a carnivore. I ain't only carnivorous. I'm, what I mean? I'll tear up some vegetables. I be doing all of it. I even eat kale, the white people greens.
I can't believe you said that. Kale is banging.
What?
Kale has a lot of nutrients in it, so I'm glad that you eat kale because when people make collard greens, the fact that unfortunately, as a culture, we overcook it and we cook out all the nutrients.
Yeah,
I mean, it tastes good, but we cook out all of the nutrients.
No. You know, that's the truth.
Man,
But
I
I
know
eat
somebody
mine. I
that.
eat
And
mine.
so
I eat
some
mine like
smoked
half
neck.
cooked.
You said what?
I eat mine like half cooked. My
Collard?
greens like you know how greens get like soggy. They can get like real soggy. Like
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
my mom, she make them to where you know what I'm saying. You don't even gotta chew them. You just you know what I'm saying. They just melt.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know, I don't eat them like that, man. You know, now I cook them. I cook them, man. They still like leaves.
Oh, you don't be cooking it the real way then. Ain't nobody
No,
coming to your house eat none of them greens. I'm sorry.
I be
nobody.
tearing. No, I be tearing them greens out. The big ass pile of it, man. Big old
I
bowl.
know. By yourself.
By yourself. We eat kale like that. We're not gonna eat no collards like that.
Hell no.
I eat my
I tell
kale.
you,
My kale be kind of like how he talking about. Like my kale it's not cooked all the way. Like I try
I've
to
been.
get
Yeah.
the nutrients out of it. But collard greens,
yeah.
Yeah, them
do you
collard
put the,
greens gotta be down there like.
the smoked turkey neck? You put the smoked turkey neck up in there?
Nah, man. Just go ahead and just season them up, and then just boil them.
See, look, I'm not even Black American, and I
Yeah.
put smoked turkey neck in my greens. What the heck?
Yeah, you gotta
Nah,
put
man, I
something in
don't
it.
fuck around with no turkey necks, man. Them things is
And
too
most of the
big.
people I know, they
Not a regular turkey neck. It got to be smoked turkey neck because it got a different smoked flavor to it. You put it in the water and you boil it for a long time
yeah,
till it just the turkey neck meat just be falling off the turkey neck.
Boiling it on low.
Yeah. Or if you got a pressure pot, if you can get a pressure, you can do it faster in a pressure pot. But
What is that?
you don't put no smoked turkey neck and you don't cook it. Like, ooh, that'll last.
Nah, I've been tearing it up. I've been tearing it up like that.
You might as well. You on your way to veganism right there. You might as well become a vegan.
Nah, man, I'm just you know what I mean, savage, man.
Yeah, you might.
you should know who you is in your life. So it's just cool.
You just research you some vegan recipes. Watch you be right on point, man. Oh, Gold Mine will tell you.
I'm gonna have to check it out because I do be fucking around. I ain't gonna go no vegan, but you know what I'm saying. I'll get like a big old bowl of salad. Talking about a giant mixing bowl, and I'll just eat it.
And there's so many different recipes of things that you can have that still has the carbs, the fibers, the starches that you need. Man, you'd be surprised, bro.
Not no substitute of meat.
Well,
I
that's
ain't
one of
saying
the reasons why
substitute. I'm just saying adding something to your diet.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I stopped being a vegan is because I didn't lose no damn weight being vegan because I was eating all kind of starch. When you're a vegan, you can eat all the potatoes you want to, all the plantains you want to, all the rice you want to, French fries, all the starchy stuff that I love to eat. I was not losing no weight, just eating starch and vegetables. No. Now, now I eat vegetables and meat without the starch. I instantly lost weight.
Damn. Oh, so the potatoes was it? That makes it to where
Potatoes,
you
rice. My family is from Central America. My family's from Central America. I was eating plantains every Saturday and Sunday, eating fried plantains. Then I'm eating rice all throughout the week, maybe some potatoes, maybe a sweet potato, but heavily on the starch because, mind you, I'm not eating any meat. So I'm making beans, I'm making rice, I'm making vegetables, multiple different vegetables, lots of stew, stuff like that. I wasn't losing no damn weight. I was like, this vegan stuff, I don't understand how I'm supposed to get skinny doing this. No, I was eating good.
Oh yeah.
Once
Oh
I
yeah.
learned like vegan mac and cheese, I was killing that stuff. Right? Like I was killing it. Like no, I
Okay.
cut out the starch, the weight just went going.
I'm a
Oh,
fruits
that's
and
what it
vegetables
is.
type of motherfucker. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but my diet is extremely expensive.
You say your diet is what?
Extremely expensive.
Extremely, I can't hear you.
It's extremely expensive.
Oh yeah.
What, just the fruits and
Fruits and
vegetables?
vegetables. Even though both keep me balanced, but it costs a lot, shit ton of unnecessary money.
Because they
Yeah.
perish. That's the thing about when I realized when I went vegan and started eating a lot of vegetables, when you're buying perishable things, you shopping a lot often. You know, when you're buying tomatoes and onions and celery and cucumbers for your salad, every couple of days you're in a grocery store because that stuff is going to go bad. It's going to start getting soft and soggy. You got to hurry up and eat it. You know,
Yeah.
pretty much everything. You buy mushrooms and, you know, olives and like just all these different things. Just things just go spoiled and you have to keep shopping. Versus if you're buying like potatoes, they stay in your house for however long. A bag of rice, keep it until you cook it. It's there for a year. You know, those things last. So noodles for macaroni and cheese, you can keep that for forever. So you can buy lots of it and just store it. But you can't buy, you know, 5 pounds of tomatoes. You're going to end up throwing away those tomatoes. You're not going to eat 5 pounds of tomatoes.
Right,
So
right.
I understand about spending the money.
Right. I bought a 50-pound bag of potatoes. And man, that you know, before I can get down to the bottom of it, them things started already turning on me.
50 pounds?
Yeah.
God dang. What you was cooking for? Like a whole village or something?
No, it was just a month.
Man,
I'm rough with the potatoes.
you killing some potatoes over there. Like you must got a big old battle axe family. I'm just saying.
Tearing up potatoes, man. Tearing up potatoes, salad, fish, cod. Eat a lot of that, man. You ain't never ate no cod?
Yeah, my family from the Caribbean. We be tearing up some codfish.
That's right there, man. That's some gas.
You know, I want to say that during the transatlantic slave trade, they caught the cod from the Atlantic and shipped it to Jamaica for them to do the salting of all of the cods, and then afterwards imported them somewhere else. And somehow that's kind of the backstory of how codfish became part of the Jamaican national dish. I think their national dish is ackee and saltfish.
Yeah, all ackee and saltfish. Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
but in the actual ocean by Jamaica, codfish that's not where you find codfish. It's up like towards Alaska or something. But yeah, exactly. So they would catch the fish from up north and then ship it to the Caribbean, and then they would do the preserving. That's what I'm going to say. The preserving process, and that just became a little niche.
Damn, that's really
well kept tradition.
long way to be getting some fish, man. I didn't know that fish comes so in all natural states. We wouldn't even be eating that fish.
So
I'm
do
gonna
you?
tell you,
What
like,
way do you
Aki
eat
is,
it?
man, the way they serve that shit there, tastes so goddamn good.
Yeah, I like aki, but some people don't like it. To me, it tastes like scrambled eggs in a way.
Yeah,
It's
What does?
like this. It's a Jamaican dish called aki, and if you see it, it looks like scrambled eggs, and it has the consistency of scrambled eggs. It just tastes a little bit different than eggs.
No,
See,
that's
he
a
laughing.
it's probably just eggs.
No, it's not eggs. No, it's definitely not eggs. It comes
Like
from a
juice.
tree. From a tree. Aki comes from a tree.
Oh yeah. What is it? Yellow?
Yep, it's yellow. Yep. Look at it. Google it. It's Akee. Aki. Akee. So you can see what it looks like. It's yellow. It's like scrambled eggs.
Is it like is it like that same stuff in the store? You know what I'm saying? It's like an imitation egg.
No,
You know what I'm
it,
talking about? Not the stuff in the carton. It'd be the stuff that's in like a little plastic white bottle. I mean, a plastic
no.
clear bottle.
So aki is actually fruit from a tree. It grows off of a tree, and then they like crack it open and then scoop out the inside of the fruit. It's a fruit from a tree. It's not
What?
like a yeah. You like what?
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm tripped out. Like,
I don't know, bro, but that shit be good as fuck, man. That's all I
yeah.
can be good as fuck, bro.
Well,
I
y'all
don't,
went to
I don't
Thanksgiving?
eat meat that much, but when I do, goddamn it, that shit be good, and so does lamb. Lamb is awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's kind of like eggs, but it's not. It's a different flavor. And then when you eat it with the saltfish, it's just good. It's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a good meal. I don't know.
I guess the best way to put it is almost like grits and eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Okay.
type of taste, where you get the consistency of eggs and almost the blandness of eggs, but you get that saltiness from the grits, because normally you gotta salt the grits up real good,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they're thick enough. You gotta give it a nice little bit of salt.
Right.
So I would say it's almost like that, but man, aki and saltfish, you gotta eat that shit, bro. You got to try it so that you can see how that feels. That's one of those kind of meals that you just have to eat it to understand it. It's
Shit,
definitely
man.
That's
I'm
a
thinking
good
about
analogy.
yeah. I like damn, man. I ain't never probably gonna have that opportunity. That's on, you know what I'm saying? I'm way over here on the West Coast. What happened?
They got they
y'all
don't
got
got Caribbean
Jamaicans.
restaurants out there.
Yeah,
I
y'all
ain't
got
heard
Caribbean
nothing
restaurant.
about that.
I got you, bro. I'm a holler
What
at
all
you.
the Jamaicans and they not out there in the West Coast?
Nah, man, ain't nothing.
See,
They don't
now you
have no black ethnic places except for like Louisiana, little
about
spot
to
soul food.
start open business. Shoot, that sounds like I need to open up a business.
Hell yeah, it sound like money, right?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, nobody know nothing about nothing like that. I never heard of none of these words.
So wait, so you're telling me that there's no Caribbean restaurant nowhere around where you live?
Nah, I wouldn't even. I don't even know what would a Caribbean restaurant sell. What will you sell up in there?
Are you serious?
Wow.
They selling what,
So
fish?
how often do you go to the beach? That's a better question. How often do you go to the coast?
Periodically.
And you never see that ever?
You never seen no person with a big old drum of like a big metal grill cooking jerk chicken outside on the grill?
Maybe.
No.
Hey, if I seen it, I probably didn't know what it was, but I ain't never heard anything like
jerk chicken. Never seen a jerk chicken, man. They outside selling a jerk chicken. They give you like 2 slices of bread, and they put the jerk sauce on the chicken.
No.
Wow.
Never heard of that. Jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken. He's saying it like he ain't never heard of jerk chicken. Oh my God. Listen, I mean, I really try to, not be one dimensional with the food, because there's certain soul food stuff that I definitely do like, and that's outside of my culture. But I like collard greens. I like collard greens. I like cornbread. I like McCanny yams. Right. Let me see what else is considered soul food.
Mustard greens. Peach cobbler.
No, I'm not. I'm not with the peach cobbler. I don't like cooked fruits. So I don't want apple pie, pecan pie, no banana pudding. I don't know all that pudding business. No, all them dessert. No, thank you. I don't do it.
Cooked fruits. Oh no! Don't cook your fruit up.
Nah, buddy. No cooked fruit.
Cooking my fruit.
Want no cooked bananas, cooked peaches, cook nothing. No.
Nothing. Damn. Never heard nobody say that in sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie, but that's not a fruit. Potato's not a fruit, it's a vegetable.
I know.
So if the question is pumpkin pie versus sweet potato pie, I'm down with sweet potato pie all day. I'm team sweet potato pie.
Damn. That's it.
Yeah, pumpkin pie. Nah, I ain't with the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I don't do the pumpkin pie. I do the sweet potato, but I don't get it. You ain't fucking with the peach cobbler? I don't get that.
No peach cobbler. No.
You had a bad experience with sweets or something? What happened?
No, I just don't want cooked. I can't. It's the texture.
Whoa, I never heard this.
Like that. What's that thing? That banana pudding stuff? Oh,
Said that. Nobody never said that before, man. That's it's just different. It's a different reason for somebody to not like peach cobbler. I would think like I'm allergic to peaches. I'm like, oh, okay, I get you. First set, the texture. I'm like, the texture? I was like, peach cobbler is fantastic. Especially with texture.
Peach cobbler is fantastic. Jerk chicken is fantastic, but you ain't having jerk chicken. You know what I'm saying?
That's the trend, man.
Yeah, jerk chicken is fantastic, but you ain't having no jerk chicken. I don't know.
No, I don't do the chicken no more, man. I missed out. If it was out here, I would never be able to get it, man. Because I don't do the chicken no more.
Oh, you don't even eat chicken, but you eat beef. That don't make no sense. You gotta
soak the beef. If you soak your beef in blood, you soak your beef in water. You come back, man. Your water will be full of blood. Your water will be full of blood.
So I want you to Google which is better for colon health, right? Forget about this blood thing for a second, just for a second. I ain't saying just don't think about it, but just for a second. I'm talking about what is better for your colon, right? If you think of your colon and where it's located, it's very close to your manliness, right? Which is important. Right. Just think about what's healthier for your colon, chicken or beef. I want you to Google that. I want you to research it. Not just read one article or one website, multiple websites, they're all going to tell you that chicken would be better if you needed to consume meat. They're not going to tell you, hey, beef is good for the colon. No one's going to tell you that. So for you to say soak it in water for an hour, it still is not affecting. It might like take away the blame for your laws and your statutes, but it's not going to help the colon. No, that's soaking it is not going to help that. And you need that too to be addressed because you're a man and you need things to work on.
So you don't think that people should eat beef, period?
I don't think I would say this. I think that eating beef should be in extreme moderation. Like, I have not eaten beef probably within the last 5 months, I'm gonna say.
Dang, man.
Right? So I could have a burger if I wanted to.
You say you ain't ate beef in 5 months?
I don't crave it. I still eat meat. I still consume flesh. I had a nicely prepared red snapper fish when I went to the Caribbean restaurant. I eat salmon. I eat cod. I eat different parts of the chicken wing, chicken breast, chicken leg, all that stuff. Ground turkey, for like spaghetti and meatballs and things like that. Yeah, I don't have a void that I should be eating red meat. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I've never been a steak person. One, because I grew up poor and we couldn't afford red meat like that. That's just so.
Red meat is bomb.
Yeah, but red meat costs more money, doesn't it?
You can't go.
It costs more money.
It costs more money than chicken. It costs twice as much as chicken most of the time.
Well, you know what? A form of red meat that I do eat, but I eat, like I said, I eat it like every 4 or 5 months. I like lamb. So I will make lamb chops. But I'll eat lamb like twice a year maybe or something like that. That's it.
Yeah, man, lamb is bomb. I'll do the lamb. The best way to do it though is barbecue it.
No, that's really not the best way.
Yeah, it's the best way.
If you have a slow cooker, put it in your slow cooker and season it really well, and then put maybe like right up to the level of the lamb chop, some water in there, and then cover it and just let it cook overnight. And most of the water will cook down, and then when you wake up, flip it over, add a little bit more water, and cook it for like another 5-6 hours. Falling off the bone.
Oh yeah.
Slow cooker is the truth.
A slow cooker. What is that? Is that like something like a crock pot?
Yeah, crock pot. Crock pot.
Oh yeah. I ain't never cooked no lamb in no crock pot. I just do the chili beans in a crock pot. And that shit, man, I'm talking about, it was crazy.
Someone told me, so the only time that I made the lamb was because someone said, cook the lamb in the crock pot. And I was like, okay, because I didn't know nothing about no lamb chops. And I put it in there. And I was like, oh my goodness. When I tell you, you know how like when you cook your food and you don't want you buy something and you don't want your kids to eat it. So you try to eat it in the car, I did not want my son to want none of my lamb.
Nah.
I was like, oh, I hope he don't smell this and want some. Right? Like I was trying to hide the food because I just wanted to eat it all myself. And he was like, "You gonna eat the
Yeah.
whole rack of lamb yourself?" I was like, "Okay, fine. You can have some." But I didn't want to share. I ain't lying.
He tried to
I
get
want
him done too. Like, I'm trying to eat all this. This is too good.
you eat all the other junk that I can't eat. I mean, my son eat pork. I be trying to tell him don't eat that nasty pork, but kids got to learn on their own. They got to come to their own understanding. I said, that's not how you was raised. I don't eat that.
Nah, that boy
So
needs a whooping. Need to whoop him. He needs a whooping.
he need one. I tell him all the time. I make a big whole ordeal every time he eats it, and I be like, "Ew, you eating that is disgusting, and you got worms." And I be telling him all this stuff. I said, "I'm gonna give you a laxative to clean your stomach out since you eating that stuff."
He ain't trying. He trying to eat that sausage because he hooked, man.
He think I'm being too dramatic. That's what he thinks, I'm being too dramatic. But I'm telling him, you need to take a laxative to clean it out because it's not good.
For real. And drank some cranberry juice while he at it.
But then he starts speaking that same, like that, what's that dude name? I said, Moses. When he was like, oh, vegetables have uh bacterial and they could give you infections. And then you see what I'm saying? Yeah. they start hating on the vegetables.
Yeah, like try to pick on the vegetables. He crazy.
Try to
I ain't never
hate
heard
on the
nobody say
vegetables.
that.
Vegetables can give you bacterial infection, and vegetables have, what's that thing called? Not steroids. Pesticides. I'm telling you, my son was telling me, "Oh, you think you're doing better by eating vegetables? The vegetables is not good too." So you telling me this to make pork more acceptable?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like you try to put vegetables against pork.
Exactly.
Like, crazy. Like you can't put vegetables against pork. You're like, you justifying. You know that's all you doing. Like you justifying. You know damn well you can't say nothing about pork. I mean vegetables, especially when we dealing with pork.
Well, I said, but a lot of other things in life, he ended up telling me that I was right. So I just stopped. I'll let life tell him that I was right, and he'll figure it out. That he shouldn't be eating that stuff. Like if it could be, get sick, or maybe his skin breaks out, or I don't know what, something, whether something happens to someone else, or he reads an article, or sometimes it's like young people feel like, yeah, their parents is nagging them or whatever, and they gotta figure it out on their own. So
I'm trying to let them know, like, hey man, you ain't gonna see the effects now, but it's gonna get you in the end. It gets you when it counts. It gets you when you are the most vulnerable. You gotta remind them that. Like it'll catch up when you're the most vulnerable. And he'll say, what do you mean? You like, it'll be when you got kids. You'll have family, you have people that depend on you, and that you are investing yourself into them, and you just cannot die. And like pork can come and kill you at that time. I'm like, you do not eat that shit. Like you don't play like that.
I had went years without eating pork, and me and my homegirl talking about we want to be, or we stressed out at work. We wanted to like just eat unhealthy. We knew we wanted to eat unhealthy, so we ordered all the unhealthy stuff to include some pork. When I tell you, immediately after eating that food, I had the worst headache known to man. My head hit me so bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm never eating this shit again. I have not eaten pork since then. Since that day, because it was so apparent that it was the pork. Like my head started hurting me within 15 to 20 minutes of eating that. I felt horrible.
Wow.
I knew my blood pressure was completely through the roof. My head hurt me. I felt sick. I felt dizzy. And then I asked her, she said she felt the same way. I said, I ain't eating this crap no more. I never ate pork again.
Dang, that's crazy. You just cold turkey after that, huh?
Yep. I was like, it's salty and nice and savory and tastes good. No, thank you.
Right. Got its own flavor and all that.
Right. Because I mean, some people say pork tastes nasty. I don't think pork tastes nasty. I know it's just not good for me. That's why I don't have it. It don't taste nasty. If I had to choose between pork bacon and turkey bacon, pork bacon wins all day long. It's just that it's not good for me.
Right. It shit. I'm not gonna lie. It tastes good. Like what? I ate it. I remember that shit. Last time I ate pork, when was that? Shit, I don't even know. I know it had been at least 10 years. But
Yeah, I think I'm like 8. I think I'm probably like 8 years or so. But
hell
that
no,
thing
okay.
happened.
Time, man. That's a good one. That's a good run. For real. But shit, well, I still remember it. I remember how it tastes too. I remember I remember a pork chop sandwich, how that tasted. I remember that.
Sandwich.
A pork chop sandwich.
Never had that. A whole sandwich with like bread, lettuce, and tomatoes and all that stuff.
No, just bread and pork chop. And some hot sauce.
That sounds too dry. Like it needs some like mayonnaise, lettuce, tomatoes.
You be thinking that too as you're eating it. And then just for some reason you be like, nah, I guess I'm cool. For real though. I'm serious. I remember that's exactly what it was. It was dry. But then it was like, but I'm cool. Every time I had one, it was like that. But they were bomb.
Pork chop sandwich.
Pork chop sandwich. Never forgot it. I was like, damn, that thing was good. And ain't nothing tastes like that. You can't find nothing else that'll ever taste like that. That's what that tastes like. I ain't gonna never forget it. But I ain't going back to that shit. But I ain't never going, you know what I mean? I just tell you this one, I ain't forgot it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you could experience something and know that you enjoyed it, but you know whether or not it was good for you. If it was a healthy decision or a healthy choice and something you should continue to do. There's some things that you're like, oh, I had so much fun doing that, but you like, I ain't doing that crazy shit no more. Like you already know there's not nothing to do to keep doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just something you did. So
Yeah, that's real. Like something like clubbing. Like out here in California, you keep clubbing, man, you're gonna end up getting packed out one day.
what's packed out? Like hurt? Like
Jumped by a gang of people
oh, okay.
and beat unconscious.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, like it'll just happen. You just keep going. You be like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's hella fun. And it's kind of exciting when you know what I'm saying, when you ain't the one where the violence is being committed on or not involved in none of the BS. But then shit, when the BS come your way, man, it's like kind of like a roll of the dice on how it's gonna be that you get shot or something. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
it's
all.
like, nah, you can't. It's something same thing like pork. Like you can learn from other people's mistakes. You can just look and be like, nah, that shit ain't working out. And some people they just get hella fat. You know, they just blow up and they never can lose it. They'll just turn out to just be obese. Like, there's a lot of different things that can happen. Gotta get to that boy.
Yep.
You gotta get through to that boy, man. Can't be eating pork. Especially you know not to be eating pork too. He's looking right at it and a good example. He tripping.
I got family members that done had strokes. You think I ain't trying to eat that shit? Hell no.
Tripping. Like, but hey, they addicted. I already know. That's just what it is. A lot of people, they don't even realize that pork is addicting. All these things. Pork, beer. When you see people drinking beer, they, you know what I'm saying, they drink beer every day. They addicted to beer.
Yeah. I think with that kind of stuff, it's more like the sugar that's even in the beer. If beer is made with sugar, but I think some alcohol is made with sugar, and I think it's more of a sugar addiction. The sugar is really, really addictive.
It might be the sugar, huh? Because sugar is addictive. Because the
Probably
kids,
both, probably the alcohol and the sugar, but sugar is definitely a huge thing that people are addicted to, and kids get addicted to sugar very early.
right. I remember I used to be like a heavy drinker when I went out there to Colorado one time. I was out there drinking real heavy. And then I came out here to California, but out there I was able to like when I was drinking heavy, it was only like occasional. When I say occasional, like weekly. I wouldn't do it on the weekdays. It'd just be on the weekend or something. Came out to California, man, drunk a beer and got addicted to just drinking beer. Never done it before in my life. But every day I had to have a beer, like I'm rewarding myself or something. Nah, man, you're addicted. They putting something up in that shit. When one day I just drunk it and I got a headache, real strong headache. I was like, man, what the fuck is up with this stuff? I said, see, not only am I always drinking it, they got something up in here that's doing some type of reaction in my head. Never drunk it again.
That's what's up. You had the same kind of response like me.
Yeah, man. Never, ever. I'm talking about it was cold. Did it with cigarettes too. It was like, man, I'm cool on this stuff. The price, there was a price difference. I was in one state and the price was like $3. I came to California and the price was $5. I said, I ain't buying this shit no more. Put that, gave it to the dude next to me, like, man, you want this? Walked off. I'm like, good. I ain't never smoked tobacco ever again in my life. I mean, never smoked a cigarette again in my life. I smoked blunts after that, but I quit. Everything I quit, everything I got on, I quit that shit cold turkey. No excuses.
That's what's up.
That's how you got to be. You know what I'm saying? On those substances, man. You can't play with those type of things. You can't give none of them other things opportunities. Like, you got an alcohol problem, you can't be sitting around there rationalizing with yourself. Like, yeah, I'm gonna slow down. Don't say stuff like that to yourself. You see the problem, man, you just quit that shit. You're like, oh, this right here is causing a problem. Cut that out. Cut that all the way out. Instant. Yeah, I feel bad for the people that don't, you know what I mean? They don't have that type of ability. They got addictive personalities or justification problems. And that's a damn shame, man. Because they got a lesson to learn ahead of them. You got to go out like that, though. Don't got to go out like that. You could just go ahead and just avoid lung cancer and just quit cigarettes.
So true. Listen, I'm about to go to bed. I gotta get it at some point really soon. It was a pleasure speaking with you brothers. Awesome conversation. Thank you all for having a welcoming panel, so we can vibe and exchange ideas and stuff. It's really good. Have a good night, brother.
Khan, all praise to the Most High, man. It was good talking to you, man. I
Yes,
really enjoyed your presence. All praises. You have a good night. Shalom
likewise.
Bayah. Peace to your house.
Same to you. Peace to the Battle Axe household and family and brother Akmalaki. One nation set apart, right?
One nation set apart.
That's right. Peace to y'all.
All
right.
Khan, hey, you be watching the radio station?
I do tune in. I like the music you guys play. So keep it up. Keep up the good work.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've been keeping it going. Right on. All right. You have a blessed one. Fuck, man.
Good night, folks.